Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another Q&A Thursday, where I'm your host, Dane Hennen. To my left, Sydni Brae Gwinn.
Yes, hello.
And right in the center here, we've got Gabe Garcia, who's going to be doing a live cleanup detail on this rather rough life-looking Toyota Echo two-door behind us.
It is pretty hammered.
Pretty hammered.
Yeah, we spent a good chunk of the morning just trying to get the interior clean.
It has been a day.
And it'll be a push to get the exterior done during this live, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least people get a chance to see something dirty cleaned up. So, I mean, there we go.
Yeah, stay tuned. So I'm going to get on it. You guys have fun answering all the questions.
Thanks, Gabe.
Yep, and as soon as I got VMix Social loaded in front of me, we will get on that. But in the meantime, we can talk a little bit about, well, you know, what's going on here at TRC.
Yeah.
You guys had a morning. We recently had a video drop yesterday that included, honestly, so much useful information, you're providing from the comfort of your own shop. But if you want to give us a moment to kind of talk about that before we lead into this is a great video, guys. If you haven't given it a chance, it's over an hour long.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 13 minutes. And honestly, I think, you know, I asked Seabass how much did he have to cut out, and I think he only cut out like 30 minutes, which is crazy because, you know, we just sat down and had a conversation for a couple hours, and, you know, it was really, the premise was wanting to, you know, help those that were thinking about getting into a detail business, or maybe somebody new in the industry that kind of just needs to know a little bit more of a path. You know, I think that a lot of us, like me, when you start your detail business, you just kind of open it up and say, hey, I know how to detail cars. And there's not really a lot of thought past that. So this was kind of, you know, an attempt to help people do it the right way. You know, I definitely did not start my business the right way. I did not, you know, I didn't do the right things. I made a lot of mistakes that cost me either money or time or, you know, just mistakes that aren't necessary. And so the video was really meant to, you know, reach out and help people kind of understand the different stages, the different steps, things that you needed to think about. You know, the detail industry, being a detailer, whether it's almost like a home hobbyist all the way up to, you know, if your desire is to own a shop, you know, you definitely want to kind of know what's out there and know what's going on and kind of the steps that you should take and how you should charge. And so there's a lot of questions that are answered in there as far as, you know, what do I need to do, even to have a home shop. You know, that's something that over the last few years has become really popular. And I know when I first started my home garage, it was kind of a taboo thing at the time. You know, you were kind of just like, oh, you're just a garage detailer. But now it's like this genius entrepreneurial, you know, venture that can really be, you know, financially rewarding. And, you know, but there's steps that you have to take. And then there's, you know, the times of, do you want to be mobile? Do you want to have a shop? So just a lot of questions and kind of just seeing it, you know, big picture. And so, yeah, it was really fun to share with everybody the mistakes I've made and the things I've learned. And, you know, I've always just said that I'm here to help people. So it was a fun video for me. It was so different. And, you know, I hope everybody watches it and, you know, takes notes and things like that. It was, you know, it was something that was near and dear to my heart to just help people do business the right way and be more successful, be more efficient, be more successful, you know, start making money right away. You know, I'm sure a lot of people have heard my story, but, you know, the first 5 years, all I did every day was wanted to quit. And I don't want anybody to go through that. I don't want anybody to go through the trials and the loneliness and, you know, the feeling inferior, like you're just a car washer. So I don't want anybody to go through that. So watch the video and go out and kill it and build the business that you want to build for yourself, whatever that looks like. And, you know, I hope there's some tips in there that can help others.
No, that's excellent. Yeah. And, you know, guys, it really is worth your time. I realize it may be longer than some other videos you check into, but it's full of so much good information. Yeah. Give it a shot. And you won't come away disappointed. You'll definitely learn something. Yeah. Even if you're not doing it as a business, there's still valuable lessons to be learned just from the experience of detailing that you pass on as well.
Yeah, and the beauty of this video too is that you don't necessarily have to be watching. I mean, we would love for you to watch, but it's also one that you can just listen to. Just listen to the information. So that's kind of cool too, is that, since it is a longer video, you can listen to it while you're detailing. You can listen to it while you're washing your car, while you're at work at your day job, whatever you want. But that's kind of the cool thing, is you can just listen.
Yeah, and by that token, I am going to be I'm going to take it off of YouTube there. We're going to take the original file, and we're actually going to load it onto Spotify.
Oh, cool.
So that it goes out in the RSS feed, goes out to wherever you get your podcast from.
Yeah.
If you're subscribed to the Rag Company podcast, you will see it. Yeah. You will be able to hear Sydney's video in audio form. Yeah. So there's also the option there as well that I'm going to be dropping. I think I'm going to have it go out late on Friday. Okay, so that way it's like a weekend thing, right? Somebody can enjoy it over the weekend, doing what you're going to do. Just take it in. It's a good time, and probably save it for later, because there's going to be things you're going to want to go back and double check on. In the meantime, it looks like my comments still haven't loaded, so I'm actually going to refer to my phone here and just go ahead and pull up some. What's that, Gabe?
Talking about your phone, let's talk about TRCMA.
Oh, there
actually, that's a great idea.
My goodness.
Why don't we?
I think we should talk TRCMA. The reason why is it's going to be huge this year. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what camera to look at over here. Maybe over here or over there. I'll let Nick decide. But basically, TRCMA is going to be jam-packed with a bunch of prizes this year. We are giving away $8,000 worth of prizes throughout the week. So the way it's going to work, we have a morning of presentations. Then we have a break with Joey and Alex. And then we come back in the afternoon, and then we have presentations. We are going to be giving away a prize. So like morning presentations, prize. Afternoon presentations, prize. Cool. And they're going to consist of those who presented in the morning. That's what we'll give away in the halftime show. Those who presented in the afternoon. Each company has donated something, and these prizes are off the hook.
Okay.
That's so great.
Making promises. Let's make sure we can definitely get people invested, checking out, looking at that stuff. So if you don't know what TRCMA is, you gotta look up past years just to get an idea of the sensation that it is here. It is the biggest thing we do every year here at the Rag Company, ever since we first started it in 2020. I don't know if you heard, some things happened back then, and we were forced to try and come up with something to do here on the spot. And we thought, well, we have the makings of a broadcast center. Why don't we try creating a live stream trade show?
Exactly.
And next thing you knew, we were inviting our friends to come in and made a whole thing of it. But now it's been a yearly tradition going back for 5 years. And I would say pretty dang successful. It gets bigger and better every year. And, you guys have plenty to look forward to there. So coming up very soon. Gabe, once again, what are the days that people can expect to tune in?
So Monday, March 31st, we kick it off. Very first segment's going to be Flex. And then throughout the week, we go until Thursday, April 4th. Wait, 31, 1, 2, 3. 3rd. So more of this information can be found on the Rag Company website. If you go to the Rag Company website, there is a tab called TRCMA. And on that TRCMA tab, all you have to do is click it, go into it, and it shows you the days. And each day, Nate, our graphic design, who is the stud behind all of the cool stickers and everything, Rag Company, he's designed the page so you can actually see who is presenting and at what time. That is going to be up there fairly soon if it hasn't already. You're going to want to check it out. Viper Chair will be there. They will be giving away a Viper Chair. Flex, I think, is going to be giving away a polisher, perhaps.
Nice.
Just as a couple of things. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have to check it out. You might want to tune in. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go get back to this dirty car.
All right, get back to that echo.
Still have a lot of work to do, Gabe.
Anyway, I'm going to start reading off comments that I've got here on my phone. I've got the live feed pulled up, so don't worry, guys. We're going to get them. Since the iPad, it's not the iPad's fault. It's the communication between that and the greater comment building on YouTube there. Anyway, let's go ahead and read these manually. We'll do it old school, the way we did when we first started Q&A Thursday many years ago. So, Sid, Greg Siebold here, as a retired DIY, I've been detailing cars for about 9 years. I found my zen watching Levi at TRC videos back then. Mm-hmm. I went way overboard with my cars, and I ordered too many products.
Yep.
Tale as old as time, and probably something you talk about in your video as well.
Yep.
I don't think it's so bad to end up, at least initially, I understand as a company saying this, buy too many products.
Right.
But realistically, like, you don't know what you're going to like until you try some different things. Yep. And if you only stick to like one brand or something like that, you can make it work for you. Absolutely. But if you get curious, there's nothing wrong with kind of just wandering out, checking out what other products are available at other companies. You don't have to stay a strict loyalist forever. You can try things out. But it looks like it's loading here in the meantime. Anyway, there we go. I see it's popping up. So thank you to Nick, who got that produced there. He's taking back the iPad now so we can get this working. All right. So the one who shall remain nameless here. We've got him popping in saying, good afternoon and happy Friday, Junior, from a boat off the coast of cloudy Massachusetts, heading back to the mainland from working on Nantucket today. I'll be listening to the show on my hour drive home.
Very cool. Thanks for joining us.
All right. So you're on a boat. All right.
Nice.
Then I think he also follows up here and says to Greg, I think most of us buy way too much. I've been working on a list for TRCMA sales, and when I checked my shelves the other day, I found I don't need any chemicals I was going to order.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
That's totally normal. And I think that, just like Dane was saying that, sometimes I can think a product great, but it may not work in your area or for the types of vehicles you do, or it may just not fit the process that you like. And so I do think it's important that people try different products. I have a ton of products that I don't use on the daily, but there's always the time when you go, wow, what about that one thing, So I think it's good because it doesn't mean that just because, we say a product's good, there might be other ones on the market. And I know, for me, the first couple of years I was using one single brand and I didn't know there was anything else, and I thought they were great. And once I tried other things, I was like, oh, it's not that great. It's not that great. I could be a lot more efficient with a different brand. So I don't think I wouldn't feel bad about having extra stuff. I think, you got to find your way. You got to find what speaks to you and what brand, is kind of fits your vibe. And I think that, that's all to each his own. And so I think that's totally fine to have extra product. I have a lot of extra product.
And, I think there's some sense that, oh, no, it's going to go to waste because I have too many of these or something. But the reality is a lot of this stuff has a decent shelf life. Yeah. It's not going away immediately.
Right.
Thank you very much. And I see some comments. Excellent. All right. Nice. Looks like I can actually control this thing now. So that is wonderful.
Yes.
Right off the bat here, one who shall remain nameless, which, by the way, we got to give him a name. We give him a name every show. Yep. So, Sydney, you do the honors today.
Yes.
What name?
Let's go with, can we just call him Captain since he's on a boat?
We'll call him Cap, yeah. We'll call him Captain.
All right.
One who shall remain nameless, you are now Cap for the rest of the show.
All right.
When are we going to have Lucas back on the Q&A, he asks.
Yeah, so, we should be able to have Lucas pretty soon. I think I'm gone next week, so maybe we can have Lucas back on next week.
Yeah, Sydney's here because Anthony's out. Anthony's busy, doing Anthony things. I don't want to blow up his spot.
It's kind of nice, though, that there's a selection, though, right? Yeah. Because sometimes when you have to, do it every single Thursday, that becomes a little bit of a pressure. So it's kind of nice that we have different people to pull from. So next week, I'm going to do a class, actually, at our distributor Budco, and so I'll be on an airplane. So we'll see if Lucas can come on next week.
No, we'll keep it interesting out there. But I think Lucas, I'll go have a chat with him, see if he's interested.
Yeah.
It's up to him too. We're not forcing anybody to be in the passenger seat here, but it's always nice to have a guest because, I can do these all day long, but at the end of the day, people want to hear from detailers who are using this stuff far more regularly than I am. I'm like the theory guy, and then we have the people who do the application, the applied sciences, if you will. All right, so next up here, I've got Jay's Car Channel simply saying, let's go. Nice. I agree, Jay. Welcome. And Joey Belinsky, I can't believe it's already Thursday, which means 9 days left until I hug all of you beautiful people.
I literally cannot wait.
Joey, I can't wait to give you a hug. I've never met you in person, but I feel like I know you so well already.
Yeah, you're going to need a step stool, Dane, but...
Yeah. No, he's going to make me feel real
the ones
short.
that you just flip out. You don't need a really super tall one, just one of those, maybe the folding ones that fit in your car,
Okay.
Yeah,
that's normal. Also, loves small cars, so he's here for the echo. Yes. Alex Dewar, also the other half of Joey here. What a beautiful day. The countdown is on. Love you all. Right back at you, Alex. Appreciate you. Then we got Hans here saying Abend, towel huggers. We're not tree huggers over here. We're towel huggers, I guess. So that's fun. Super Auto, Al, happy Friday Eve from Northwest Georgia. Happy to have you here. Man, it's just everybody saying hello. I understand that's how this show starts, but I'm giving you a chance to get your questions in so when we do get to them, we can get in depth.
Yes.
Then, of course, Cap here. Hello, Detail Desk co-host. Do y'all have a tagline yet? That is a good point. They need a tagline. Sheepstar checking in. Hello, Sheepstar. And everybody's stoked. So I'm going to move up past all these hellos because there's a bunch here. And Hans also pointing out that he misses Levi.
Yes,
I appreciate that. He'll be back around one of these days. Who knows? Then we got Neil White. Happy first day of spring, TRC.
Is it this first day of spring? I was just
thinking
about
solstice.
that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when I was getting ready this morning. I was like, how long was that whole chipmunk? What's the thing? Not the chipmunk. What's it called?
Puxatawny Phil.
Yeah, groundhog. Like, how long does that situation?
Chipmunk. Imagine if it was a chipmunk. It'd be way smaller.
Gabe's using wheel cleaner behind me.
I'm being thrown off
animal
by the
we were going
scent.
with.
How do you guys like that smell, by the way?
Yeah, well, it made me call the guy a chipmunk. So
real potent.
Oh yeah, it smells like some radical things happening in here. What's up, bro?
To be fair, that car needed it. Now, David Boyce here, always giving me a hard time, but nothing but love for Sydney here. Sydney, teal Greek statues of Dane and Anthony. Sell them as figurines on TRC. I think that's going to turn into a QVC segment if you have your way on that.
Not a bad idea. If we could make a raccoon a thing, we could make statues of you and Anthony a thing.
I think we could do that.
Yeah.
Next up, I've got Bro Code pointing out that video we talked about. Last how-to vid was great. Watched at work this morning.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And then also we're getting some love for March Madness here, just in case anybody forgot.
Oh, I got all my brackets in today. I even had to call my son in bed and FaceTime him to get his done for him because he couldn't do it.
Whoops.
Yeah, he lost his computer charger. So yeah, got all my brackets in. All of them.
Oh, man. Then we got What's Up, Guys, from David Cervantes. Hello.
Hi, David.
And Shark Blue Turbo, Mrs. Levi, too. Yeah. Shout out, Levi.
We all do. We all here, though, are kind of lucky. We hear from him often. Yeah. So, but yes, we do
used
miss
to it.
Yeah, but we
He's
do
in the
miss
group
him.
chat still.
Yes, but we do miss him being here.
But, I mean, you guys can obviously tune into Auto Wash and check out their channel as well here on YouTube. That's where you're going to find him these days. So make sure you look out the Auto Wash Co. Car Wash channel. That's what he's doing. That's where he's at. With our good friend Dylan Von Kleist.
Yep. What a pair.
Then, let's see. We got some questions about brackets. And Super Auto here throwing out a freeze warning here tonight.
Oh, wow.
I think the cold is gone for a while. 83 degrees here next Friday. What is going on? This is crazy.
No, we have crazy weather here too. It's like warm one minute and then it's freezing and then it looks like sunshine and you go outside and it's freezing. Who knows?
Yeah, it's throwing us off.
What's going on?
All right. So we've got some different people saying, David, if Gabriel doesn't get the car dialed by the end of the stream, he gets foamed. Finally, David, that's what we're talking about. Gabe has dodged being foamed so many times.
Gabe,
and
it's ridiculous.
And the other thing too is the funny thing is Fisher has gotten on this thing of calling me Gabriel, and now everyone's doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going good. These wheels, you guys, this car is hammered.
Right.
Like absolutely hammered. I'm gonna try polishing it out. Also, I am not going to hit the black plastics though because we are saving that for Mr. Chris West for solution finish.
I noticed you took the hubcaps off. That already made the car look a little better. Those things were absolutely thrashed.
I'm going to polish the hubcaps. Wait till the end.
Well,
whoa, okay.
We do have to show the befores of the hubcaps, though, Gabe, because those were...
They're in the thumbnail, so anybody who clicks on this will see.
We still have them back there. We can pull them out of the trash. They're pretty crazy.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was also going to say, I think that hood is cracked open because I don't remember it looking that misaligned.
No, I think it is open because we cleaned the engine earlier.
That makes sense.
I think it's going to get a second round of engine cleaning here.
I'm going to active foam this thing. I'm going to clay this thing. I am debating if I should spray some iron remover on this paint.
You know, it doesn't smell bad enough in here already, so why don't you do that?
I think I might, Dane. Just for you.
Ryan rigged in with a good afternoon. Happy first day of spring. More love for the first day of spring. It's that detailing season coming in swinging. Grainham's Garage, what's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. Welcome, welcome. And then we just got love for Gabe back here from Alex. And let me keep moving down the line. I swear we're going to get to detailing questions. You guys got to ask them, though, for the show to happen. So, Cap here shouting out Bucky VW. That is Alex for his 1,000 followers. Congrats, Alex. Yep. You deserve it.
Very cool.
You deserve it. Sydney's vid was flat out awesome, says Neil.
Thank you, Neil. It was a group effort. It was a lot of fun. So I'm glad everyone found it helpful. Please share with your friends, because
of course,
I think there is some really valuable information, and we did put a lot of heart into that. So I'm glad everybody loved it.
No, that's for sure. And I would like to know, for those of you who have watched it already, throw in the chat, what was your favorite part? What's something that you felt was a real takeaway that you were going to use in the future? Yeah. So that we can pad Sydney's ego here.
That's fun. Oh, I don't need it. No. I don't need it padded. I love to hear the feedback, though, because I mean, I just want to help people. So
I totally kid. I kid. But the reality is, like, Sid had awesome advice. You have such a great setup running the business out of your garage. It is a very unique situation, but it is something that, in the right setting, someone could replicate. Yeah. And there's lots of different ways they can have a spin on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's so much potential.
She's taught me quite a bit.
Absolutely. Then I got Alpha Tango here. Thanks for all the awesome stuff in my mystery boxes. I picked up all 4. No regrets.
Nice. I was wondering if people were getting them yet.
People have a hard time with mystery boxes.
I want to hear what's in them.
Well, so far, people have been very respectful and not revealing what's in there so that other people can be surprised too.
Well, that's nice.
But, you know, if you're going to blow up the spot now, it's done and over with, so people can talk about it now. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, because those of us here, only Anthony knew what was in them.
Yeah, no,
we didn't know what was in them.
Anthony is the one who came up with the scheme for each one.
Yeah, and he's kind of been the keeper of the information. He didn't even tell us. And then he left, and he didn't even tell us what was in them. So I'm counting on all of you guys to show me what was in them.
Yeah, he decided to go to a whole nother country.
I got to get away from you guys.
Has anybody heard from him? Do we know if he's okay?
I've been texting him.
Okay, good.
This morning and yesterday. He's fine.
Perfect.
Did he make it?
Good.
Oh, he made it.
Good.
He was upset he didn't get a welcome committee he was expecting, but I think he'll be fine.
Oh, what a guy.
Nice.
Travis Aldridge here. Sydney, can Defender be applied with an applicator or towel? I don't have a garage, and I worry about overspray because of the wind.
Yeah, I think you could definitely, I put it on with a towel. I've never tried it with an applicator, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. So, if you wanted to, you could load up an applicator and apply it just like you do a coating and then buff it off with an FTW. So, yeah, sure. I would just do either one of those and see what works best for you. But either one should be great. No problems.
Oh, that's excellent. And then I've got Shark Blue Turbo here. Now, that smell totally changed things up.
Yeah.
It's definitely taken a turn. Why does it remind me of,
Did you use Iron Buster, Gabe?
Yeah.
Hey, way to go.
It definitely changed up the whole
know that smell
funk
anywhere.
in the building.
Look at it's got. I'm getting a ton of fallout over here on the hood.
Now, Sydney's face is making it seem like it's worse, but I'll be honest, I think it smells better than it did a minute ago. It's different. I don't know about how much better. It is different, though.
You know why my face looks like this is because I'm not sure where that came from, but the face is because when I have to use Iron Buster in my shop, there's like the dreaded, because I have hair, right? Like no one else has this problem really, but I go to get in bed and I'm trying to get all nice and cozy, and all of a sudden I smell Iron Buster and it's in my hair. The scent is in my hair.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden I can't go to sleep because all I can smell is Iron Buster.
Okay.
Now, it's not that it necessarily smells bad, but it's just a little bit like, I just remember how many nights I've tried to go to bed and then I've had to been like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get up and wash my hair and dry it.
So it's more like just like a low-key trauma response to always experiencing it, and it's just lingering and it's too much.
Yeah.
Iron Buster smells like grape to me.
It smells like cherry. Like, I don't think it smells bad. It's just, it's a triggering
it smelled
smell
like fruit
to me.
snacks to me.
Yeah,
like,
it's just a triggering
like general
smell.
mixed fruit snacks.
Yeah, and
that's
you
the smell
can't
in the
fall
air.
asleep if it's right next to you. I will say that much, which right next to me. So the hair is a problem. So, we didn't answer that. How's full send as an engine dressing? Totally good.
Go back.
Totally great. So any of the like natural finish, full send, even swift and dynamic are all going to self-level. They're all going to be great as an engine dressing. Now, full send is probably the one with the highest silicone content. So you may have to like let it settle and then go back and maybe wipe up a couple areas. But other than that, it's great. Yeah, you can totally use it.
Excellent. I'm gonna go up
Look
to
at that. It's so tiny.
That's looking good. Yeah. Let's get that thing going.
Oh
this is
gosh.
great.
I wonder when this car was washed last.
Joey is blown away by the $8,000 worth of stuff there.
Yeah.
That is definitely something to be excited about.
We were too.
Joey says, I'm going to win it all. I'm pretty sure
I think you might be
you're not going to be able to
Yeah.
because you're a host and that's a
Right.
conflict of interest.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
But Joey, I do have some surprises for you.
Neil White says, can't wait to win Dane's Evo.
Oh.
Boy, you know what? I wish I had that Evo. I would drive that thing, but Anthony, he just, he's very exclusive with it.
So funny.
I've seen him take it out a few times, but very few and far between.
I can't wait till the day that I can make my Jeep a princess and she never has to leave the house. I look forward to that.
Well, Anthony loves when I sit in Viper chairs near the Evo on the off chance that where his angled floor might get a little gravity going, and I just happen to stand up. I don't even push away when I stand up. I literally just stood straight up in the most careful way possible. And that Viper chair started rolling. Yeah. Those casters are so smooth.
There's like a magnet that leads them to the car.
It looks and it goes, hey, that looks like a good bumper to rest on, and it just ever so slowly just coasted over.
Yeah.
And of course I had my back to it, so I didn't even see it happen until I heard contact. And then I look back and it's kissing the front lip on that Evo. And I was like, oh no. And you know what? To anybody else, it was honestly fine, but I think it's just the thought that it happened bothers him more than like what it actually looks like. Because I'll tell you what, you get right up on that thing, you can barely see anything. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the responsible party here. I'm saying that because legitimately, as someone who has like eyes tainted by the detailing virus, you can still barely see anything having been done there. So just saying. Then Hans is asking about prices to ship to the Netherlands. Oh my goodness. Well, we've got our friends over there at TRC Europe. They can take care of all your needs, Hans. We got you covered. Then let's see. Sheepstar says, that's a funny way to say steel to Joey. Then Joey's like, hey, plausible deniability. Then, okay, we've got Cap here saying, Joey, how much to take notes for me and give me a leg up on winning? I don't think that's going to help you, Cap.
Yeah, it's a draw. It's random.
It is truly random.
You just have to tune in and watch.
It is out of our hands.
Yep.
I think Shane is the one who's running that, isn't
Not
it?
even Shane.
Not even Shane's doing it.
It's literally a
It's a
third-party
random
draw.
Okay.
Like the prizes are so big on this giveaway, you guys. We have to do it that way because, I mean,
it's got to be legit.
Yeah.
Like
the prize. Yeah.
Too many ways that stuff gets screwed up online. There's so many like giveaways that happen out there where you just kind of you do that kind of like squinty eyed, just like I don't know if I trust this.
Yep.
And to be fair, I get it, I understand, but in this case, like we're taking it super seriously. So I applaud them for figuring out a good method for that. Hans, did you do something with your hair, Sydney? It looks so nice and glossy.
I didn't.
It's Iron Buster, isn't it?
I didn't do. Yeah, it's probably the Iron Buster. No, I didn't do anything special. I actually need to go in and get it colored, but we have been working so hard in here today. Who knows what's in my hair? It could be just about anything.
Okay.
But no, I didn't do anything special.
And Joey here, already laying the groundwork to be a shady individual. He goes, I can't do anything shady in my first year. If they invite me back, we can talk. I don't like the sound of that, Joey. Alex says Joey and I's burner accounts are going to enter all that. We'll know, dude. We'll know, and you're not allowed.
We'll also know by the screams in the back 40 if if one of them wins it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's going to be a rule
funny.
for those two. No phones at TRCMA.
Yeah. Somebody monitor their communications. Joey with a non sequitur here, though. Buy smart, not hype. And that's just good general advice. I think, don't get me started going down the road of like people complaining about what's hype and what's not hype and all that, though, because I could have a whole dissertation here just about how often people misattribute hype to something that other people online simply liked.
Yeah.
And they were fine. They just like, hey, I like this. And then people go, oh my God, the hype. Oh, and then they blow it out of proportion. It turns into this thing. And of course, nothing garners a stronger reaction in a negative way than people being too positive about something. People always have to have that like yin to the yang. It's just a countervailing force.
Yep.
You can't always go and say, oh, this is the best product. Oh, this is also the best product.
No matter what product it is, you just got to be low key about it, even if you love it. Apparently. Jamie Ford with some good points here for Sydney. Loved yesterday's video. We are new to detailing.
Cool.
Bought P&S products and love them, and the towels from TRC. What polishers would you recommend to do headlight restoration?
Well, that's a great question. So I do recommend a 3-inch polisher for headlight restoration for sure. You will also get all of your money's worth out of a 3-inch polisher. So I have a couple. I like the Flex Pixie, but I do think it lacks a little bit in the power section. The thing that I like about the Pixie is that it has a changeable head, so you can go from a 3-inch, 2-inch, and 1-inch. And so I like that one, but then I have the Rupes, what is that called? The HLR 75, the one that looks like, I call it a high heel. I like that one a lot for headlight restoration, but then I actually have another one that is not really carried anywhere yet, but it is from a company called RBL. Gabe's actually going to be using it here shortly to polish the paint, and the reason that I like it is because it's quiet. It's very, very quiet.
No other reason, huh? Not because of the color or anything? Not because of the color?
Yeah,
you'll hear it today. Hopefully it's quiet. I told Nick if it's too loud, let me know. But I'm going to polish this whole car with a 3-inch polisher just because I got to keep it quiet for everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet though. So this one that Gabe's holding, I really love just because it's so small and it is quiet and it's really great for headlight restoration.
Okay.
That one, it is available, but it's kind of like, it's hard to find. And so I know that they're changing the battery system on it and stuff. So I believe within the next month, that polisher is probably going to be more widely available. But I love the Rupes one. I use that one all the time.
And have you used any like the Mirka units, anything like that?
So this one is very similar to that one. It's kind of the same, just the battery system's different, and like, you know, each company kind of took it and like changed a little bit, but really like the mechanics and the feel and the look of it all feel very similar to the Mirka.
Okay, because what I was curious about was when we do hear it, I'm curious. Oh wow!
Oh yeah, it's super
that
quiet.
Is on a
you
par.
can't even hear it.
I'm gonna put it by my microphone right here.
Yeah.
Ready?
To blow everybody's eardrums out, except
no, it's really quiet. Listen.
That is
it's pretty crazy.
Actually exceptional.
It'll hum you to sleep.
Yeah.
No,
I really like it.
That is a hum. That's not a grinding sound. Yeah. That is distinctly different. So wow, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice one. I like it.
Okay. Well, that is one polisher you can run during a live stream that won't blow everybody's eardrums out. So cool.
Yeah.
Now we've got the one who shall remain nameless, aka Captain. I understand. I'll just bribe my girl Chloe Cosmo and she can take care of you. All right. Everybody trying to find their hacks to do this stuff.
Nice.
Hans, today I used a full liter Epic and loved it. Gabriel gave me 3 gallons. That man is crazy.
Gabriel is crazy, but in the way that we all love him. And yes, Epic is epic. It's awesome. And it's an old school product. You know, it is one that I have on my list that could use some updates, but I absolutely love Epic. It's great. I've used it for years. And I go through a ton of it. I really love Epic.
Couldn't agree more. And then I got GTO Mobile Detailing here. Do you guys give any detail classes? Sydney, I think you can speak to a lot of different detailing classes.
I do. I travel around what seems to be all over the country nowadays. But I travel around and do detail classes. I know next week I'm doing one, like I said, at Budco in Salt Lake. I'm doing like an all-in detailing class on Friday, and then on Saturday we have a ceramic coating certification. So I travel around and do those a lot. And then, we've done them locally here over at our distributor, Connor at MVP. And, I think it is one of those things that in the future we'll look at, possibly doing here in the studio and, doing some fun stuff. So I would just say stay tuned. Like, it's definitely something that is high on the priority list and, kind of goes to just wanting to help. But we are trying to figure out more creative ways to do the classes. And so I think it would be fun to have one here in the studio for sure.
No, it's been a big thing, and we have had like one-off ones here before.
Yeah.
But as far as having like a regular class that you can like sign up for, pay for, show up, all that kind of stuff, that's something that has been talked about for, so many years here. But there's always, despite it being a relatively high priority, there's always something that comes up. Like there's only so many ways we can allocate resources, and resources includes people to do things. Like the people who would be doing the training are very busy around here doing a lot of things. So it's a matter of like finding that time to be able to do it in a way that we could reliably offer that to people.
For sure.
But we do make a good point. We have an event calendar at the Rag Company that you can check out on our website at theragcompany.com. That is something that you can actually use to verify what's happening here at the Rag Company. So in case you weren't aware, check out the calendar and scroll around, see if there's something coming up you might be interested in. So just wanted to give a shout out to that, and I believe Nick is going to pull that up here so that you can take a quick peek at it as it loads here. There you go. So obviously it shows our YouTube lives as well, but if we have events like actual detailing training events, things along those lines, they will appear here as well. So you can be sure to check that out. And in the meantime, we'll get back to these questions. But let me pull up Steve Pearson here, who's lost without his friend Anthony. I'm glad they bonded while they were at Mobile Tech, because I was real worried after the Volkswagen slander that Steve was just going to hate us forever.
Steve was so great. I got to spend some time with him too at MT. He's so great.
He seems like a fun guy. So I look forward to meeting you sometime, Steve. He says, I'm stuck in an in-person meeting and can't turn on audio, but I can deliver a weather report here in PA. Sunny, warm, and almost Friday. Stay awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Nice.
Hopefully you'll get a chance to hear this a little bit later. Adam Lyman. Hi, Sydney. Just finished your How to Start a Detail Business 2025 post. Very, very good. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Adam, let us know. What parts did you really like and consider a good takeaway? And we'll have Sydney maybe go into a little depth on that so people can get a taste of it here.
Yeah.
Then I got Anna Longfield. Wonderful Anna popping in. When it's cruising season, Dane needs to wash the Miata on the live. You know what? It's probably going to happen here sooner than later. I've been getting it very dirty on purpose.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Taking it for lots of drives. It's starting to get a little warmer out. All day Anthony. I want Joey to hold Dane in his arms. I think he would literally hold me like a baby because he's just a reacher-sized gentleman.
Yeah.
Then we got a hello from Umberto. Hello, TRC team. Hello, Umberto. Nice to see you here, buddy. And then Tamara Chase. I know, we'll get Lucas on here one of these days again.
Yep.
Hello. Good to see you, Tamara. And then I got Joey again saying, doer is indeed my other half. My wife appears to be okay with this.
Perfect. Love it.
Yes. And then Anna very astutely points out, the other Anthony is here. Well, we got a couple of Anthonys in the building, so whatever could you mean by that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, we got a Blaine over there. He's been busy. Then Adam Lyman here. Question for Sydney. When using gloss spray to reduce static change in interior carpet and concerned with slickness transfer onto passenger shoes?
No. So it's not going to add any slickness at all. And then it's not really going to transfer because once that product is dry, it doesn't really have any cleaning ability anymore. So no concern there at all.
Okay. Then I've got Captain here. Captain says, if you can pick one PNS fragrance to get during TRCMA, which one would it be?
The new one.
Oh.
Which I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, that was a sneaky way to try and get you to say it, I think.
It would be the new one. No, I think, there's so many that are my favorite. I still just absolutely love the Absolute one. So the coconut lime, I use that one probably the most. Between that and Glacier, I do really love Glacier, but the new one coming out, I'm super excited about. So, and it will be here, so...
Noted.
maybe you want to wait and check it out.
Okay. And then Super Auto Al here. Dane, when does Asian beetle season start? So I remember discovering this last year, or was it 2 years ago, where my home happened to be in the path of like these, they look like ladybugs. They literally look just like ladybugs. I thought they were ladybugs, but I was like, why are there like 5 of them?
Yeah.
And turns out, if you happen to be on their path, they just like hang out where there's been recent moisture, kind of like, certain other bugs are attracted to moisture. If there was like rain recently, but then also if it starts to get warm, like if there's a change in the weather towards the warmer
now, are those the little things like, there's been a couple times when I've driven up Siemens Gulch, which is kind of behind your house, right?
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden it's like raining bugs. Is that those?
Okay. I don't know if it's those.
It's
I haven't
it's
seen
for
them
like
up there.
1 hour and it's like every couple years, but it's like all of a sudden it's like raining bugs and it's like the most wild thing.
Wow. Maybe
but
those
it's
would
like
be
they
more
blow
like
through
gnats
and
or
it's
something.
so weird.
But no, the ones I'm talking about are literally like indistinguishable from ladybugs until you're right up next to them. They look, act, size, everything just like a ladybug, but they're just like slightly different markings.
Interesting.
So they're technically called an Asian lady beetle, which ladybug is just a colloquial term, but they're different apparently. So cool. There you go.
How's it going, Dane? Or Gabe? Why do I keep calling Gabe Dane?
I'm here.
I know.
Dan Pfeiffer. Wouldn't be a show without Dan popping in and giving us a word up. Good afternoon. And word up from Dan. Minnesota, USA. Coming in a few late today. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang.
Are you getting any gloss back there?
Clearly I'm not Dane because I did my wheels first.
Yeah. Right.
I did my wheels first.
No,
if you go back and watch, yes.
Okay, I
see
you
missed it.
I see a little bit of shine.
I deliberately did my wheels first because I knew Anthony never does his wheels
here's
first.
Here's where we're at. We are getting a crap ton of shine. I think we're going to get a lot of shine on the sides. It's the hood is orange pilled like crazy.
Right.
The roof is orange pilled like crazy, and don't even get me started on that back. And then the other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to need to steam essentially and try to chip away at that B pillar because it's.
I was going to say just get rid of that black Plastidip or paint or whatever that is going between the windows. Eliminate that, it'll look so much better. I know they probably had that to like bridge the gap of the windows and make it look like one big window, but
I'm excited because our coworker who we're doing this for, she's super sweet, and she came in earlier trying to get a peek at the car, and I guess the guys in the office told her no. So I'm really excited to see what her thought process is when she sees this car for the first time. We did a really deep clean on the inside, and like I said, these plastics we're going to use for TRCMA for the solution finish segment, just to show how to actually rejuvenate these and bring them back to life. So that's why I'm not touching these today, but I will address obviously like the cowling and the wheels. So it'll be good.
That is an excellent bit. And yes, you can look forward to TRCMA where we will exhibit all the trim on that car getting restored. So looking forward to seeing that because my goodness, that car needs it terribly. But you know what? Like underneath all of the surface level just stuff going on with that car, it's a pretty straight car. Like it's not that bad.
And the inside, like honestly, like all the plastics like now look brand new. Like I'm sure it's how they looked when the car was new. But the other thing that we didn't mention was, and it's unfortunate, we tried to do a live stream yesterday and it didn't work out, but we did headlight restoration.
Right, okay.
Those headlights were 99.5% blocked by oxidation. They were so bad.
Just completely useless.
And now they look like we just replaced them. Like they came out
fantastic.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out so good. And they were so bad. Like just imagine yellow.
What the Echo looked like new. The headlights were essentially like that.
Yeah.
So no, excellent.
Very cool.
And let's get Cap out here. Cap says, Sydney, I heard you and Joey have a meeting at TRCMA to discuss teal FTWs.
Huh.
Where do you get that info?
That'd be great. But you know what? I say this on every podcast that I'm on, everything, because I just am hoping that somebody listens. I know Dane heard me the other day. I just want a teal interior towel first.
Yes.
So I can wait on the FTW, but I really would like a teal interior, like an Edgeless 365 in teal would like make so many people's day, not just my own. So if we know anybody who's in charge of that,
Guys,
a teal interior towel.
You gotta advocate here. Like, we gotta know that people are interested in this, that you want this.
Yeah.
And with loud enough voices, it might happen.
Yeah.
No
Joey
promises,
wants them. Alex wants them. There's a lot of people who want them.
Never say never.
Captain, he wants them.
Captain wants them.
Yep.
Tim and Thomas, what is a good way to clean vinyl seats?
Honestly, the way you'd clean any seat. So vinyl's super tough. It's super easy.
Honestly, it's easier than most things. Yeah. It's designed to be easy clean.
Yeah. So the same way you clean anything else. So obviously my choice is Express and a scrubber or, a good towel, a steamer. But honestly, no different. So most cleaners you'll see are labeled for leather, vinyl, plastic. So most of them cover all of the gamut. The only one that they're going to single out is you may find leather only cleaners, and they might just be a little bit more mild for leather, but most leather, vinyl, plastic, you're going to use the same cleaners.
Okay. Then I've got Dan Pfeiffer here saying, any tips for P&S Reflect? Can it be used over other glass sealants / coatings?
Sure. So the nice part about Reflect is you don't really have to have any tips. It just works so great, and it's so easy. Like, you're literally, I can't even describe what you got to use it last week, right?
You
literally spray it on
experience.
or you put it on your towel and you apply it and then you buff it off with the other side of your towel and it just disappears. So it literally could not be an easier product to use. Absolutely, you can use it over other glass sealants. It's great over glass coatings. Like if you have a glass coating on your front windshield, I use Reflect every time I wash my car, even though I'm sure it's lasting longer than that. But A, I love using it so much, and B, I want them to be like that all the time.
No, so it was great
I use it over the coating on my front windshield, and it's absolutely great. It smells great, but it's so easy to use. So you can use the applicator method that I do, but I don't usually I've cleaned the windows by then, that I just spray it on and use an FTW. Spread it, buff it off. Like, it literally could not be any easier. It
makes sense.
So easy. Yeah.
Then I've got Marigo here. Oh, Marigo. Will the rag company sell CarPro products? Well, while I said never say never, I'm going to say on the list of different companies, the stuff we could carry, I think that is a very, very low likelihood.
Yeah.
Very low. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Certainly good products out there. No knocking that or anything. But when it comes to making sense of our lineup and stuff, we do make a point to try and carry products that maybe in a lot of cases you haven't seen other places, and we want to give them a strong platform, build them up that way. It's what we've done traditionally. But also, we connect with big brands as well and want to carry them. It's oftentimes down to, well, historically, like when Levi was here, it was always the testing team, and Levi and Anthony had to sign off on something, and if they didn't both agree on everything about a particular brand, it wasn't going to be signed off on. So there can be other reasons beyond simply being a good product. Sometimes that the branding didn't fit what we were trying to do, and that's okay. There's always other distributors out there, and in the case of CarPro, I don't think they have any trouble being distributed. You can definitely get it a number of places. And when it comes down to that, we don't necessarily want to just be an also ran. We would rather be a hub for things. So that's definitely a consideration as well. But don't worry, you can still always get them other places. DIY with Kane. Hi, Team Ragco. Probably a common question, but can Brake Buster be stored in a foam cannon and used whenever needed?
For short periods of time. I wouldn't store it for a long time. Any soap or any chemical that is like that you have in water, so even in your foam cannons, regular soap, you really probably don't want to store it for more than a week or so, because it does start to degrade in there, like the efficacy of it. And so, but Brake Buster specifically is going to be a little bit harsh on the mechanics inside, like an IK sprayer. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't done the same thing. I'm just going to say it's not good practices.
Yeah, like if you're going a few days with it.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
but
I've
if you're
left
going
it
weeks to months. No.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't intentionally store it in your foam cannon. Mix up what you need and use it, and then make a fresh batch every time. I think what I wouldn't want to happen is have the product start not working, and for you to feel like it's the product that's doing it, because it's not. Anytime soaps or like Brake Buster sit in water, they are breaking down over time. For sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a race against time once it's been diluted.
Yeah, it's different than like when we mix Express with water. It's just a different makeup, and they're not meant to be diluted for long periods of time.
Sure. And you also kind of alluded to this, but it is really important to note that beyond just the product itself breaking down once it's been diluted, you are opening up the possibility that you're doing damage to your foam cannon, to your sprayers, whatever. While they do have, like in the case of IK sprayers, they have wonderful Viton seals.
Yeah.
They're really strong. It's just... You're kind of tempting fate.
Yeah.
It's like not doing car maintenance correctly.
Right.
It's the same thing with your tools that you detail with.
Totally.
If you don't have to leave a chemical in a sprayer or foam cannon or something, don't. Clean them out, and you'll get the most life out of them that way. It's worth it, even if you feel like, oh, I had a little product left over and I wasted it doing something. Just spray a little extra, make use of it, or if you got to throw it away, you got to throw it away. But it will cost you less than having to replace your tools, which usually aren't very cheap.
For sure.
So, something to bear in mind. Graham Marshall here.
Hi,
Graham says, hello, Dane and Sydney. Been a while.
It has been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a funny old year, and I'm now officially retired. Happy Friday Eve. Congrats, Graham. I'm glad you got to officially retire.
Very cool.
Well, I hope you're enjoying it. But if I know anything about people who get retired, I hope you're not bored either. Find things to do. Keep yourself active. Got to keep the old brain and the ticker running. Tamara Chase. Dane, do you know who Mr. Bob Hall is? I saw him in some donut videos, and I think he's one funny guy. Yes. And yes, he is a funny guy. Then I've got... Isaac here, DIY with Kane, that's how I do it. So I think that's in reference to the storage of products in there.
Oh,
and
got it.
Like we were saying, it can be done, but try not to make it too long, leaving products in your tools. Because more so than even the product breaking down, it's about the tools longevity, the lifespan of the tools. All right, so then I'm going down to page 2. Wow, we're getting through these pretty quick today. Guys, got to keep asking those detailing questions. Keep the show lively and moving. Alpha Tango 04 says, detailing odors aren't an issue when you're bald like me.
I know.
Getting older isn't so bad.
I know. Most detailers don't know my pain.
Yeah, that's fair. You kind of have a little bit of a different take on it for obvious reasons. Yeah, a lot of detailers I know, not a lot of hair up here. Just for whatever reason.
Which could be a scary thing, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Also, the hair's not going to protect you if something does splash on your head or something. That could be bad.
Oh, super odd. I'd rather die.
Never be an esoteric.
Look at my face. I can't even control my face. I'm sitting here like,
wow. Well, that's brutal.
No.
She did not pull a punch there. Alex Stewart, Anthony and I occupying the same province is a vibe.
Right, and then guess what? You get to do the same thing in 9 days.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Idaho's a state, same difference.
Yeah, same thing, right?
Yeah, same thing. Who can say? Who
get
cares?
to occupy the same country again.
Yeah.
There we go.
The same place. DIY with Kane, this is Captain saying this, DIY with Kane. I have Brake Buster at 4-to-1 in a cheap foam cannon for a long time with no issues. I used distilled water to dilute it. I think using distilled water probably gave you a little extra edge there.
For sure.
Probably gave it some time that it could hold on.
Yep.
I still don't think it's the greatest idea in the world to keep it going forever, but that's not to say anecdotally people haven't had perfectly fine experiences.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're opening the door to
right. And we know that people are going to people.
Yeah.
But we have to give best practices.
Correct. Which, I mean, if you wonder why we constantly tell people they need to wash their microfiber towels when they buy them, and they're like, really? And then you get the people who facetiously say, so I bought Rip and Rags. Do you want me to pull each one off of the thing and put them in the washing machine and then use them? It's like, okay, it's a little different with that. But just general best case scenario, that's the way you want to go, because you will get the most life out of your towels. You treat them right, they'll treat you right. But Rip and Rags, yes, Rip and Rags are great right out the box. Graham Marshall, does Rags to Riches replace a detergent and a conditioner? The conditioner or the detergent? Okay.
Wow.
That's a fun one.
You should never use a conditioner on microfiber.
No, I love clogging my microfiber. What are you talking about?
So it replaces your detergent. Never use a conditioner on your microfiber.
Now, will it make your towels feel softer?
Sure. Maybe because they get clean. Yeah.
Because they're clean.
Yeah.
But conditioner is going to artificially make stuff feel softer because it's essentially like filling in gaps.
Yeah. And if you want to use a conditioner, Graham, you can use distilled white vinegar. I use that in my.
That is a good way to go.
I use that as my. Now the word has thrown me off of what it's called.
Well, it's a cheap, effective method.
Yeah, fabric softener. So it kind of helps clean them, rinse them, and makes them a little bit softer. So, but yeah, never use a fabric softener. But yes, it does replace the detergent. It really should be all you need.
Yeah, and white distilled vinegar, that was always the go-to before Rags to Riches was a thing. Yeah. It was always use a free and clear or, free and gentle, whatever the version of a detergent you can get your hands on that's meant for sensitive skin that doesn't have the extra dyes, the extra fragrances, the extra conditioners and such in it. The idea was you wanted as little stuff as possible that could just fill in the gaps in your microfiber and make them less effective over time. But it was the trade-off to having a normal detergent and potentially having your towels be okay, but not great. But Rags to Riches goes a step further and actually removes things like waxes, some ceramic sealants, stuff like that. So it's a difference for people who are just like, well, I already have a microfiber detergent. Why should I bother getting a Rags to Riches? I feel like I already do that. I promise you, Rags to Riches is different.
Yes.
Now, Sheepstar here. Good to see conflicts of interest mean something to TRC. Sheepstar, they absolutely do. It is fun to see the world just seeming to forget that that's a thing. Neil White, what's the story with the Echo? I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Forgot they only have 180 horsepower.
I feel like Neil, 180 horsepower in a car that size is a lot.
A car that size is a lot.
That's like
my
a
Miata has
ship.
181, 182, something like that.
Yeah.
And because it weighs nothing, it gets great gas mileage in every scenario, and it feels fast.
Yeah.
Despite being, haha, Miata slow.
My first car was a Toyota Paseo, which was not a whole lot bigger than that.
Honestly, the Paseo,
but it was way cooler. But it was like 150 horsepower, and that thing was fast.
Also, I'm pretty sure 180 horsepower. I got to look it up because this is my brain failing me on the car encyclopedia thing. I don't think the Echo made 180 horsepower. I bet
that thing has
180 from that time period we're talking about, early 2000s. Yeah. That car was not making
I bet it
180.
had 80 horsepower.
Well, I think it was probably like in the ballpark of somewhere between 115 and 140. I think it's in that range.
Nick, can you Google that for us?
Yeah, please. I need to know
because I think it's got to be less than 100. I heard that thing start.
It is not 180.
We're
talking about the
Echo.
Toyota Echo, like a 2001, 2002 Toyota Echo.
Yeah,
and funny enough, you had the Paseo, which was the sporty version of a Tercel.
Yeah.
And the Tercel is the car that was the predecessor to the Echo here.
Yeah, but the Echo even... Okay, 108.
Yeah, see, 108. So, definitely switch that 8 and 0. Because I was thinking, I was like,
would like
Civic Type R's of the time period were making like 180 and stuff, or 160, 170, 180.
Yeah.
You were not getting an Echo like that.
No. Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Thank you for clearing that up.
Too funny.
Moving along, we've got Raymond. Got some old trim, which was treated with Turtle Wax Acrylic Trim Restore. I assume that's what it means by TW, Turtle Wax. It looks streaky and want to deep clean the affected trim or even remove it. Any tips will be appreciated.
Ooh, I'm just not familiar with that product, but if it's anything like Solution Finish, you're kind of just stuck. So there's not really a way to remove it. So I feel like I would start with like a degreaser, kind of a heavy degreaser, and maybe a Scotch-Brite pad, and that might kind of get the surface, roughed up. And then I would go with Solution Finish. Solution Finish. Tune in on the day that we do the Echo, which if I remember right, I want to say it is on Thursday? No, Tuesday. I think it's on Tuesday. Anyway, look for the schedule, but you want to watch the Solution Finish one because we're going to be doing this Echo behind us. But Solution Finish has never failed me when it comes to dry old trim. And so the good thing is I don't think you're going to be able to remove what you have on there, but the Solution Finish may work through it or with it to give you that black, solid color that you want. So, so check that out. But I would clean them and scrub them with a Scotch-Brite pad first, and then I would go back over with a solution finish. I love solution finish.
And based on Neil's question, a way to kind of give us some extra comments here. I do think it's funny. What's the slowest car you've ever owned? I know you like the fast, loud things, but
probably the slowest one,
or the least powerful.
Shoot, the least powerful.
I mean, the Paseo's probably up there.
But that was pretty fast, though. It was crazy fast.
I mean, for what it was.
Yeah, but it was fast.
But compared to
I had
your
a
other
92,
vehicles, I mean,
so
I'm
they
comparing
slowed
it to
them down in 94.
Okay.
They slowed them down. So mine was like the fast one. It was really fast. But I would say probably the slowest vehicle I've ever owned. I mean, I've had a couple Mini Coopers. I wouldn't say they're fast. They're fun.
They're
They're not fast. First and second gear are a nightmare. After that, they're okay. But I also did make a really bad decision one year, and I traded in an Eclipse GSX for a Saturn.
Oh. You know what? Those first-gen Saturns for their time were actually very ahead of their time.
Yeah.
And then they got real lazy fast when the GM was like, hey, this is
Saturn
too
was the worst car I ever owned. And then after that, I was so upside down. I think I owed like $11,000 on it. This was in 2000, and it was worth $4.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh my gosh, if we wrecked it, like felt like I was driving around a time bomb. So then I traded it in because Dodge
Gap
had
insurance on that one.
No, and Dodge had really good rebates at the time. This was literally in 2000, 2001.
Okay.
And so I traded it in on a Dodge Neon RT.
You know what? For as hard a time as people give Neons, I'm gonna say
it was fun.
As like a young person's car, like just you need something to get around in that's like not a total bore.
Yeah,
they could be fun.
Right.
There was a way to make them fun.
Yeah, my budget for gas
What year was this one?
What was that? A 2004, I think.
Okay, so this would be a second
Neon
generation Neon.
Yeah.
So kind of bigger, bubblier headlight.
I think it was
one.
a 2004. 2003 or 2004.
Yeah, this would have been from the era of the SRTs.
Well, it was the year that the SRT came out, but there wasn't enough rebates in the SRTs to take care of the $7,000 in negative equity.
Because that'd be real fun if you owned one of those SRTs.
Yeah, we just saw one the other day in a parking lot, and it was in great shape. But
most of them aren't.
Yeah, so I got the RT. It was black. It was really cool. It had custom wheels on it and stuff. Like it was cool. I lowered it. It had tinted windows. Like I made it look cool, but it was still a Neon.
Yeah, okay. Fair. You know what? Fun thing about those SRTs, power front windows, roll down rear windows cranked. Why? Cost saving. Hilarious cost saving. My slowest vehicle by far had to have been my van, my JDM import van.
Oh yeah,
95 horsepower in something that weighs like 4,000 pounds or so. Like it was incredible trying to get up to speed on the freeway. In
Didn't you try to go up Cartwright one time?
Well, I drove it to almost to Arizona. I drove it all the way to Zion National Park and back. And that, let me tell you, holy, the wind had a real influence on which way that car was going.
I can't even imagine.
Moving along.
I can't even imagine.
So fun. Anyway, tell us about yours, guys. Andrea Tavarone. Hi, guys. I'm watching you from Italy. You're number one.
Oh,
Andrea. That's so nice. Thanks,
Thank you. Andrea.
Then I've got... Oh, good. Sheepstar clarified. Try 108, not 180. Yeah. And then Neil's like, oh my God, that's slow? Yeah. So that is
the 180.
it.
That's great.
GTO Mobile Detailing. What's the best tire shine?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, just a bit.
Man, I don't...
Well, what's best mean to you? Is it a look? Is it an application feeling you get when you're applying it?
Yeah.
Or is it just not having sling?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that this is a very personal question. Yeah. Like, Gabe's back there, he's polishing. So he said G-Technic T2.
I want to add to that, though.
Okay.
I like that for an application on a low-profile tire.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a... KO2 off-road tire, I'm gonna do full send all day long.
Right. Yeah. And I tried to put it on my Jeep tires that are low profile street tires, but I didn't like it because it was still too much, so I'm a big fan of obviously full send. I'm like a set it and forget it type of person, so I don't like to take a lot of time involved, but There's so many good tire shine. I just don't even think there's an answer for that. I think every brand has heavy hitters when it comes to tire dressings. And I think it also just depends. Like, I mean, I have like 6 tire dressings in my shop, and I pick which one works for that type of tire best.
I guess another factor people would look for is longevity.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's longevity, like how long it actually lasts on there, but then there's also like effective longevity where how good is it at repelling stuff from sticking to it and changing the color. Like it may still be there, but it may not look like it.
Exactly.
Whereas another product may not last as long, but it'll look better for longer.
Yeah, exactly. There's one that I use that it looks good the first 2 days and then it starts to turn brown and dirty. And then there's other ones that, you know, maybe aren't as showy the first day I use it, but then a week later, even though they're gone, like the tire's still nice and black. So I think it's just relative to what you're looking for. But if you like the glossy look and you want it to last for a lot of days, I mean, you kind of got to seek out what you like in the way that they look.
Yeah.
And I'm just more of a fan of like a natural OEM, nice black. I like black tires.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want brown ones. Well, I don't use natural finish on tires, but Gabe does too. So Gabe and I totally disagree on tire dressings, like wholeheartedly.
I like that though. I don't want everybody to just agree and be boring. Like, let's have something interesting. Let's have people actually have some taste.
Yeah.
And get some stakes to it. You know?
I think it's just going to depend on what you're looking for out of a tire dressing. But there's so many good ones. You know,
and just to throw another wrench out there, I'm still a fan of using PSS on tires. I don't know what happened there. What's going on, Gabe?
What was that, Gabe?
I have no clue. That was the strangest thing. It just shot out.
That was wild.
That was pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. And, Nick gave me a helpful reminder. I wasn't even looking at the clock, guys. I was just enjoying this.
Oh, look.
We actually got to take a quick little break. But after these messages from our friends, we will be right back and answering many, many more of your detailing questions. So don't go too far. Just use this as a quick little snack break. Catch you on the other side. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday. Here, I'm your host, Dane Hennen. To my left, Sydney, Brae, Gwinn, and somewhere hiding behind that two-door Toyota Echo behind us that is clearly in the process of seeing a better day is Gabriel Garcia, who is
I'm going to see a better day, or the Echo is going to see a better day, because I'm not seeing a great day right now.
Well, the Toyota's seeing a better day. I didn't say anything about your
Gabe, I think it's better than when it started.
There is so much clear coat failure on this thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's silver, so you don't see it. Well, if you're close.
It looks so much better. And it's going to look, I mean, the inside is like 100% turnaround. The headlights are 100% turnaround. You know, there's certain things that are not going to be fixed, like the paint, but it looks so much better.
It definitely does.
It was
I saw
really
what it
rough.
looked like before. It was rough.
And when he pops those new hubcaps on.
Ooh. Oh, well, he said he was going to polish up those hubcaps. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think it's looking better. It really is. So, LSM Detailing here saying, Sydney's video yesterday was very helpful as I'm starting mobile detailing.
Awesome.
That's excellent. And
I love
yes, for those who missed it, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about the extremely informative over hour-long video that Sydney graced us with yesterday here on the channel. And I think there's a lot of great info for anybody who's either already running a detailing business or considering it, or, anywhere in between. You could be a hobbyist and still pick stuff up from it. So, Sid, what was your particular thing that you wanted to get out message-wise in the video that was really important to you? What was like your one or two things that
I think
you wanted to make sure people understood?
Probably the major message that I wanted to get through was just having a plan.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of where I started, but honestly, it was like, you have to do a plan. You have to know, because how do you know if you're doing, or how do you know if you're succeeding if you didn't have a plan and like benchmarks to hit? And so, like having a plan, and that encompasses everything. Like, what services are you going to provide? What's your name going to be? What kind of detailer are you going to be? Are you going to do garage? Are you going to get a shop? Are you want to be mobile? Do you want to start mobile and get a shop? Like, you have to have a plan so that you have benchmarks of what you're meeting. Because when I started, my only plan was to throw it out on Facebook and book people. Sure. But I didn't have a plan as far as like what my goals were in business, how much, I needed to make, what my budget was for, chemical usage. I didn't have a plan for any of that. And that's why I was unhappy for so many years. And I felt like I was failing. I felt like I wasn't successful. But in reality, I was very successful. The things I was doing was building a really good foundation, but I didn't even realize that at the time because I didn't have a plan. So my biggest one was have a plan.
You didn't have your measurable stuff like that gives you a sense of
and
how you're actually doing.
I didn't know what to celebrate as a win, because I didn't know I was winning. So, and I almost,
big point.
And I almost gave up on it all. So I think that was the biggest thing, was have a plan, know your plan, and then go attack it.
All right. Well, I think that's a great way to start us off back into these questions. So awesome. Get this one here. Neil White. Thanks, Neil. Little support. To Dane's point, it's great to try new products even if they are hyped. Or you perceive them as being hyped.
Right, but is hyped always a bad word? Because I hype products all the time, but I'm totally authentic about it.
When people see the word hype, they attach it is different things to different people.
I mean, there's overhyped, but I think
sometimes people use hype and overhype interchangeably. Like somebody will say, "Oh, that product, that's hyped." Like there's enthusiasm for it, but it goes beyond whatever the product is actually capable of. And people just say too many nice things about it, so I'm therefore skeptical. But then again, there's people who are just contrarian for the sake of like wanting to be different. And so they'll see that there's like an interest in something, they'll just automatically be like, don't care. Or they do care, but they frame it in a way that just makes it a negative thing. So whatever you feel.
And
if
then
there's
you have the products that live up
you,
to the hype, right?
Yes.
Like I think of Absolute, where that was like a major hyped product, but it absolutely lived up to the hype.
It does.
So,
No, it means a lot where you got to make your own decisions. Like, don't just follow the herd, which is what a lot of people who complain about hype are saying also. But, you can think for yourself also in the sense that you're not following the anti-hype people either.
Right.
Just go with what your gut tells you. Take it from there. And if you like a product, great. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. And you're not wrong for thinking differently than somebody else. It's okay. And, if it takes a company like us saying that, or me as an advocate, something like that saying that, then great. Maybe you needed to hear that. Next up, I see Diamond M Detail saying, I think I need that low polisher.
Oh, it's so great.
A lot of love for that little thing. Joey, also a fan of that little polisher.
I know.
and Alex saying, that's quieter than Luke Berge opening a mystery box. Few things are.
That's so funny. I miss Luke Berge.
Yeah, I'm sure Luke's around. He's a busy guy. David Boyce, what brand was that 3-inch quiet polisher?
So the brand is RBL. And I've seen it on a few websites, but so RBL is obviously one of the companies that is owned by ATG, the same company that bought PNS and 3D. And so I know that the polishers are going to become more widely available.
They're just not there yet.
Yeah, I did see it on the RBL website the other day. So I think you can order it there, but I know that like a lot of the PNS distributors and 3D distributors will start to bring it in here pretty soon. They're just wanting to do a change on the battery. So I do advise, like, it's a very cool polisher, but I probably would recommend waiting the next month or two until they change the battery system.
Okay. No, that's good advice. And Isaac here saying, whoops, that was me. I need that little polisher. And then he also says, I'd drive over for a class. Good to know, Isaac.
Nice.
Well, we can't not do classes forever. At some point, we will come up with something that works for everybody. But in the meantime, it will continue to be a priority until we actually do it. Then I've got Alex Dewar. You know what? Huge shout out to Connor MVP. Yeah. Can't wait to see him again. Connor is wonderful. And
I was going to say, how lucky.
Know what MVP is, that is the storefront that is all of like 100 feet that way. And that is where you can get all the TRC products to your heart's content. If you come to Boise and you want to buy TRC products and, you know, we're not here or something like that, you can obviously go over there. But that's the storefront. That's where you go when you want to buy detailing products. We're here for like online orders and that kind of thing. But to go physically into a store and browse, MVP is your hookup.
And
that's
such
where
a cool
TRC
store
stuff
too,
is.
right? Such a cool store. And Connor's just an absolute gem.
Connor's
like
great.
We are so lucky to have him here.
Yeah. So super shout out. Agree with Alex. Then I got Todd Hill here. Favorite ceramic coating applicator? Suede? ? Thin saver? Finger foam? Something else?
Definitely nothing on that list except the thin saver.
I like imagining that finger foam is actually like the big like #1 foam fingers you get at like football games and stuff.
No, I think he means like the, you know, G-Tech makes a little, no, I'm not a big fan of suede. I don't like finger foam, and I only use the thin saver, yes.
No, there you go. That's a good one. And yes, we do have a few different applicators for like you want to use suede and wrap it around a block. We have options for that. Of course, there's also like the no soak. Those work well. Those are definitely something if you have a concern about your particular coating, like going through an applicator, that prevents it because it actually has a barrier inside.
Yeah, and that's what I just like, the barrier ones for sure. Yeah.
And that is actually tech that we shared with Autofiber. So thank you to Autofiber for that one in particular. So, Then we've got Jamie Ford here. Being new to detailing and in the Sonoran Desert, paint correction is scary. What would you recommend to start learning more? Where's a good place to start?
Gosh, a good place to start would honestly be, I mean, you can watch, you know, what I would do probably is pay attention on YouTube, see what manufacturers, whether it be Rupes or Flex or, you know, whoever that's offering paint correction advice. But then what I would do, honestly, is I would invest going to a class. Whether that be one that's put on by, you know, Flex or, I mean, Rupes has a Bigfoot Academy that's absolutely amazing. And I think that, you know, those guys are specialists on tools. They're going to be able to tell you what tool and all of that is going to be best for your area. It is scary, but I think too, like even at PNS, we have a training center. You can come and do paint correction education in our training center. There's lots of different places, but I would do it. I would do a class outside your element just so that you get comfortable with it. And then you figure out how to deal with your local area.
Sure.
The other thing too, and this goes for anywhere, not just the desert, is try to do paint correction inside. You know, doing it outside, I think outside anywhere is scary.
You
honestly.
Introduce so many different variables, elements that you have no control over. It gets wind. Wind is the #1 thing that causes issues because more than sunlight, more than any of that other stuff, wind will carry in dust, wind will carry in all kinds of things, or potentially just blow over the stuff you're trying to work on. Not great.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. If you don't believe me, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can work indoors or at least under the cover of some kind of shed, tent, something.
Yeah.
Just give yourself a little bit of cover from the elements. That'll go a long way towards making the process less daunting. But one thing I'll point out, something that I could always count on Levi and Anthony to point out when they were here was find a little bit of time, go to your local junkyard, find yourself a hood or two off of some vehicles, buy them for, you know, like whatever they go for, 20, 50 bucks, something like that. Pick up one or two, whatever you need. Make sure it's one that makes sense, that's similar kind of paint quality and stuff to what you think you'll be working on, and give it a shot. Like if you can find a similar make and model or year time period that's close to what you think you'll be working on, it gives you a great place to start.
Yeah.
And that way it becomes less intimidating because, hey, guess what? You've got some experience, but the stakes are zero because there's not some owner waiting over your shoulder going like, how's it going? You don't have any of that. So it's nice, and you have no time limit. You can totally treat it however you want, and when you're done, depends on the junkyard, but sometimes they will take a donation. Other times they'll be like, yeah, we don't want it back. In which case, it is now junk.
Yeah.
But you could also try selling it on eBay. Maybe somebody wants a polished hood. Who knows? So, there you go. Just an idea for later. All right. Moving along here, I've got David Boyce. He's Jack from Elsenham, Stjarnaglas, coming to TRCMA this year. He's a master of ceremonies. He is a wonderful host, a wonderful master of ceremonies. He will not be joining us, however, this year at TRCMA. Unfortunately, it's the way these things go. But he is a fantastic host, and I know he's just a great guy all around. So, yes, I agree, David. He is one dope dude. Now, I've got Hans Closen here. Did you know Wellwo's is back in business? I saw a few ads from them. Interesting.
Didn't know.
Okay. Doing their own thing. And by the way, guys, if you've made it this far in the program and you haven't hit like yet, I would like you to go ahead and slam that thumbs up button, because you made it this far. You're clearly interested. Hopefully we're answering your questions. If we haven't yet, it's because you haven't asked it yet. So throw it down in the chat box and we'll get to it during the course of this show. Now, Hyperrock's here. What's Hyperrock saying, Sid?
Oh, my gosh. I own an 01 Echo. Man, I hated doing any turns on that car with those narrow tires, stock shift, and I had to lean to the back seat to roll up the...
to roll up the windows.
He did an emoji and unlock the doors. You know what? So it made me chuckle when I read that, because no joke, like yes, you had to lean over to unlock the doors. Yep. Yes. So we learned that yesterday on this one. Like the driver door would be unlocked, but then the passenger door wouldn't unlock and it wouldn't work. And so then we had to go inside, unlock the passenger door. And then no joke, today the passenger door was unlocked and the driver door was locked.
That's the difference between like power central locking and stuff versus just being able to lock a door. Like when you lock a door on an old school car, it just locks that door. It doesn't do a computerized all doors.
But you would try to unlock it. It would you'd have to crawl across and use the door handle to open the doors. So I feel all of your comment. That's so funny. And to roll the windows up. Yep.
And thank you for clarifying. You used to own one, Hyper. Yes. So that's an experience right there for sure. Joey. Wow, a 365 in teal is something I didn't know I wanted.
Okay, we're writing a proposal, Joey, when you come.
Now we have Hans, of course. Yes, teal 365, let's go. The people want teal, I want teal,
what email should they send that to? What email?
Send it to customer service. Send it to, I believe it's support@theragcompany.com.
Okay.
Check out. But if not, go to the actual customer service tab at theragcompany.com. Follow the prompts there and let them know you really, really want teal towels. Specifically, if you can all agree on one towel and all advocate for one towel, like a teal 365, for example,
oh my gosh,
it may happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm saying it might happen because, hey, you know what? They listen. Hans here. We should email Jeff for Teal 365. Jeff is incredibly busy. Don't bother Jeff. don't take it to him. Mike G Detailing. Late to the party. How's everyone doing? Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Mike G. And
look at that.
Captain here. Teal 365. Sydney. If we say it enough, it might come true.
Everybody
at least that's
email.
what I try at work.
Yes. Everybody email.
Oh, yes. And Iced Out Detailing LLC. Go ahead, Sid.
All right. So can we talk about paint towels? What do you recommend for applying with SiO2 products? And how do we take care of those towels or applicators? This is such a great question. It is the FTW all the way. It's the only towel I'll use for SiO2 products. Then you can either wash them right away, but I know that's a hassle. So what I do is I have Rags to Riches in a spray bottle, about 16 ounces with a half an ounce of Rags to Riches. And I have that in a spray bottle right next to my laundry basket that I throw my towels in. So as soon as I'm done with my towels, I just spritz them with Rags to Riches, stick them in the laundry basket, and I never think about it again.
Beautiful.
So the Rags to Riches, right on contact, it kind of stops that curing process, if you will, from the SiO2, and then they're going to wash up great. I mean, always maintain your towels with the Rags to Riches, and that does a pretty good job on its own for several months. But then what I have found is if I spray them before I put them in the laundry basket, I'm never doing that strip process.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's saving you an extra step later. It's nice to be able to just kind of cut it off that way.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
No, it's a great idea. And I don't hear enough people doing that. So if you weren't aware you could do that, you can do that.
Yeah. Drying towels, FTWs, whatever you use with SiO2s.
Yeah. How about Captain here?
Nice. So Captain says, will Crystal Wash and EnviroClean and end up coming to the rag company so I don't have to keep going to another vendor? So Crystal Wash is carried by the rag company. I don't know. Do you guys have it on their website? I mean, I know you have it.
I think it was something they were working on getting. I don't 100% know. If you search it on the website right now, it doesn't come up.
I know it's on Amazon, but I don't know if it's on the Rag Company website. But the Rag Company has it. EnviroClean, they don't carry that one.
That's life.
Yeah, that's life. I mean, going back to what Dane said earlier is that, they try to bring in, different things from different brands, and there's not always, and with the exception of like maybe tire dressings and stuff, there's not always duplicates. And so like APCs and stuff, I mean, they're kind of a dime a dozen, right? So you don't need to carry a whole bunch of them. So while EnviroClean is good, that's
it's
the
like
reason.
There's a lot of good ones out there, and then there's some really, truly great ones.
Right.
And most of the stuff isn't that bad. The bad stuff is the stuff that is too strong or may potentially harm materials on your car that you don't want.
Yeah. And EnviroClean at PNS is within the Chemtrol line, and the Rag Company does not carry any of the Chemtrol line. So sorry about that.
No, but that should give you at least a place to start. If you're looking for Crystal Wash and you want to pick it up, you can get it off Amazon right now, and that is something that's available. Yeah. So, otherwise, I mean, you got other options too if you want to venture outside to a different brand. I know you said you didn't want to change vendors, but if you want to use the Rag Company site and you want to look for some other things, you can give like Superfoam or Actifoam a shot from Koch. Wonderful products, things to try if you like decon washes. There's also the new decon from Optimum, which is excellent as well. Then I got Arch 9 here.
Is it
Archine? I don't know. Archie Nerd. Z97.
Archie Nerd.
Is it just me, or the best part of car detailing is applying spray sealant as a drying aid? I mean, it's a pleasant part of it. It's not a bad part. It is a great part,
yeah. I think that for me, by the time I get there, a lot of the times, it's like the end of the day. So while I love it, I don't think I get to really take it all in.
I think I like it because it means I'm almost done.
Yeah, that too. But I think on my own car, I enjoy it more. On my customers' cars, it's always like, I got to get this done so I can get it out. So I don't think I enjoy it as much as I should. But yes, it is a great part for sure.
Because you're too busy thinking about what comes next.
Right. I've been working all day and then it's just like, oh my God, I just want to get this done. Because that's literally like my last step. So,
which, I mean, depending on what spray sealant you're using,
truth is coming here.
Those products tend to be pretty good smelling, usually. The good ones out there do have a good scent.
Yes.
Then Hans complimenting, look at those guns on Sid.
Sorry, I'm hearing air leaking from a tire, which is why my face. Look at those guns on Sydney. Do I have guns?
I popped this on it.
That sounds like that wasn't the only thing you popped.
I know. That's what I was like. Was that the tire he popped? But it must be the valve.
It's the valve. Oh, no. I hit the freaking valve.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, we have an air compressor, Gabe.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but state-of-the-art facility.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. We have air. Lucas Sledge's band channel says best uses for PNS APC. Question mark.
Anything that you would use an APC for. So I use it a lot for like pre-treatment before I wash the car. Here in Idaho, we use the all sorts of salt brine on the roads, and so I'll use it as like a pre-treatment. I use it on the undercarriages, in the engine bay. I don't usually use it on the interiors. I don't really do interiors that are that dirty that I have to whip out an APC, but fender wells, engine bays, undercarriage. Yeah,
make good uses for it. I mean, it's an APC, so it can go most places.
Yeah.
It's all purpose for a reason. Archie Nerd saying here, hope to see Beadmaker 2.0.
Oh, that will never happen.
Always with that.
So we just don't do like the 2.0s. We don't do the Vs. We don't do any of the Vs.
Hung up on that.
Yeah, we don't do any of the Vs. It's just never going to happen. I shouldn't say never, but I mean, as long as I'm influential in the names of products, it will never happen.
Now, that's not the same as saying products won't get developed and won't change formulations as time goes on to improve with the era that they're being made in.
And I think that's the story with Defender, right? I mean, so people wanted a stronger, longer lasting sealant, so we came out with Defender. But Defender and Beadmaker share no common raw materials other than the water.
Yeah, it's not just the same product amped up.
And
it's
so
actually totally
we
different.
came out with a newer, more modern version, but then there's still a space for Beadmaker too. And so we're not going to get rid of Beadmaker, but honestly, Beadmaker will never change probably. I mean, it's so great for what it is that it
and
kind
for
of,
some reason, so controversial. Why is it so controversial?
But it just kind of came to the point of like, but if we're gonna, I mean, it's kind of like the Legend Stout thing too, right?
Yeah.
We weren't going to come out with a new version of Legend. We were going to come out with a whole new coating that took care of all of anybody's wants and needs, and we just gave it a different name.
It's
so
like,
it's the same thing.
Car models occupying the same slot in the car's, the brand's car list.
Yeah.
But it's just a new model.
Yeah.
But it's filling the same slot that was something else before.
Right. And historically, there is products that PNS has improved on, but we don't even say it. You know, so like Inspiration Classic, their very first coating has probably been through 6 iterations, and we don't ever say anything. We just make it better, and people love it. But we don't. PNS just doesn't do like the 2.0 or the V's. Not into the V's.
I get that.
Just not into it. Yeah.
That's kind of G-Tech's thing.
Yeah.
Todd Hill went nuts with the Reflect this week after using it first on a detail. Love it.
Isn't it so great? It's so easy. It's so great.
The detail I did on last week's Q&A, I was using that Reflect for the first time, and I was just going, holy cow, these windows are crazy.
Amazing. Did you use it on your interior windows?
I should have.
Oh, yeah, you should.
I didn't use anything on the interior.
Oh, my gosh.
Totally
it makes them so different, and then it's like they don't get dirty. And if they do, it just wipes off so much. Like, I love it on the interior windows,
I need that on my
too.
Windshield is what I need. Yeah. Holy cow.
It's so different.
Yeah, look at that.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Holy.
Car's looking good, buddy.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it looks way different with these hubcaps.
What tire dressing did you use, Gabe?
Oh, just a little full send. You know,
nice.
Here's the deal. I've been working on this car all day long. I am a little bit tired, and I just didn't feel like doing an application dressing. I really wish we could do the plastics, because
I know.
That's what would make this car pop hard. And I need to work on this B pillar next, but I'm going to clean up a little bit. So
are you going to scrape that B pillar? Is that what's going to happen?
I'm going to have to heat it with yeah, I'm going to have to heat it and then scrape it.
So that's vinyl on that B pillar then, huh?
That's vinyl. And realistically, I think we have vinyl around.
And I think it was factory vinyl too.
Yeah, no, it was like a rubberized vinyl type thing.
Yeah, we could technically put new vinyl on it. But
I think it'll look clean without it.
Yeah.
Regardless, you still have to peel off the old, which is the biggest pain in the butt.
Yeah. That's the least fun part.
Yeah.
But here, I want to... So, Nick, if you can go to a camera towards the front of the car, and I will show you what the hubcaps looked like before. Oh, I went to the wrong camera. I'm going to the right camera.
They were so trashed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Those things were longing to be put out of their misery.
And then look at the back. It's just brake dust.
Oh.
Yep.
So it's like we could have spent a lot of time respraying these, but I don't think it was worth it. So we got some new ones from AutoZone for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Looks great.
All right. Now I got Jamie Ford here. Rags to Riches is an awesome product. I've used detergent and vinegar for years. Not anymore. No,
we are pretty big fans of it as well.
Truly special. And that was a collaboration between TRC and PNS. Because, they know the way to formulate chemicals, and we know our way around microfiber.
Yep.
So through our powers combined,
we
managed to find just the right stuff. X6M Ghost. Right around 100 horsepower for the early 2000s. That's right, X6. That echo was not fast.
No.
It was slow.
She's a rough rider. Yeah.
Tug R. Anyone find a particular detailing product to be good at cleaning sneakers?
Yes.
Brakebuster actually was pretty good at cleaning sneakers.
Brakebuster's really, really good.
It's really nice. Alkaline cleaners in general.
I do really like Brakebuster. The other one that I really love is the Express Wipes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They are great for cleaning sneakers.
If you go to like some stores out there, I know like Walmart had these and other places where they had these like shoe wipes that they would sell.
Right.
And it's kind of like, you know how Wipe New is for like trim and stuff like that. It's like that for your shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's okay
in
in a pinch, but I mean, people were just doing like a variant of like a magic eraser and kind of doing that thing.
Yeah.
I think, the express wipes probably work better.
Yeah. If they're really, really dirty, go with the brake buster and a brush.
Yeah.
But the express wipes, I'm telling you.
For normal levels of dirty.
Yeah, but the wipes are tough and they just have such a great scrubbing ability. And then with the express combined, it's perfect.
That's where it's at.
I love it.
Noted. Then I got Graham Marshall here. To clarify, I used a detergent and put the microfiber wash in the conditioner drawer. So just use rags to riches. Neat. Yeah, man. You're good. Oh, no. Sheepstar. Coming in with the harsh reality. Paseo is 93 horsepower. Sydney, what are you smoking?
No,
and where
I think it was more than that.
Oh,
I think it was more than that. Did you look up what did I say? It was a 2004? No.
No. Paseo stopped being manufactured in the 90s. Yeah, 94.
Yeah. Mine was a 92. They changed in 94. Mine was a 92.
They were still lower horsepower, but they could have taken the limiter off and let it be like absolute max out because it was a very lightweight car.
Here's what I'm going to say is my Paseo was way faster than that. Way faster. I drove that thing 100 miles an hour everywhere, and I won every race I ever attended.
Dang. What were you racing against? Fred Flintstone?
Everybody. That thing was fast. No, I know they changed them. I remember hearing that they changed them.
Oh, man.
Heck, I drove that. Fair. I drove the wheels off that thing.
Well, I don't doubt that you were pushing it to the limit. Like you were making that thing work.
I drive a lot of cars. It was not slow.
Oh, good memories regardless.
Yeah.
Tamara Chase here. My slowest car was an 84 Chevy Chevette. That is Chevette, a slow car.
Yeah.
Definitely a slow car. Details Official. What's up, guys? Hey, Details. Glad to see you here.
Yeah.
And I got Demo. Gabe is doing a great job on the car today. It looks pretty good.
He really is. And I can vouch for him. I got here at 9 a.m. and he literally went right into it and he took like a 10-minute break for a meeting. He has literally been detailing this thing the entire day.
He's been going.
Yeah, the entire day.
And going.
I cleaned one floor mat for him.
Then I got Joey Belinsky saying Mini Coopers are like road legal go-karts. Yes. And he would know. He has one.
The first gear is rough in those Mini Coopers. I've had two, but man, what a fun car. That's like my funnest car that I've ever had.
Mini Coopers?
What?
The service bill.
Yeah, no kidding. That's why I don't
Coming
drive
from
it.
a Toyota owner, they don't have the adventurous spirit to own anything that's not a Toyota.
No, they're like my Bulldog. They're like Money Pit.
I love the Minis, but I also understand. They're effectively just BMW running gear from the early 2000s.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
You're going to have some repairs.
Yeah.
The service intervals are just different.
Brutal.
Charleston Detail. Hey, Charleston. Nice to see you here. He says, hey, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday to you, dude.
It's almost Friday.
And we will see you soon. I believe you're coming out to TRCMA. That should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And then I've got Iced Out Detailing LLC saying, I like the offset dash on the Saturn. That's it. That was my first car. Okay, that was a Saturn Ion that had the offset dash, kind of like how the Scions had that in the center. That was a thing, but that was only on the Ion. That was a later model. The Saturn you're talking about is
mine
probably
was a 99,
earlier.
and that was when they like only had the one model.
Was yours an SL or an SC? Because they had the SL that was a sedan or wagon.
It was the
and
SL.
then the SC was the coupe.
No, mine was an SC, and it was the 2. So it had the most options.
Okay.
But it didn't make it fast. But it had the most, like it was the most luxurious, if there was one, model that they had. So they had like the SL1 and the SL2. I had the SL2, and it was nice, but it was slow, and it was like 12%.
You know what I had though? I had those body panels that a shopping cart could hit, and then they bounce back.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Holy moly. That thing was a mistake.
That molded plastic was something else.
Yeah, that was my biggest mistake.
Let's see. Tug here saying, we'll give those a try. Probably going to need a dedicated Detail Factory brush.
Yeah.
Not in reference to, I must have missed that one, but Graham says, Fridays are now my Sundays for car cleaning, weather permitting, of course.
That's awesome.
That is good to hear. Then Isaac saying, I'm not sure what my slowest was, either a K car or a Volkswagen Fox.
Oh, wow.
Both of those are slow.
Yeah.
There were some quick K cars, though.
Fast.
Yeah.
There were some K cars that had, kind of a juiced up running gear, but that was not always the case. Then I got Pro Shine Solutions with a super chat. Everybody clap. Gabe, that includes you, sir. All right, thank you.
I'm clapping, Dane.
ProShine Solutions, $9.99. Thank you, sir. Or madam, I don't know. Either way. Stoked for TRCMA. Can't wait. Shout out Gabe and Carson for keeping the TikTok lives going to get us through to every Thursday. You look great, Dane. Also, you're doing great as a part of the gang, Sid.
I think Carson and I are going live tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. And a lot of love there. So thank you very much, ProShine. I know Carson appreciated that too. He actually happened to walk by.
He did.
He was smiling.
Then Neil saying, from a distance, the Echo looks like a miniature El Camino. Neil, what are you on right now? Where's the pickup bed on that thing? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Well, he might be having a good time. He's
having a good time. No, a miniature El Camino. Like, I'm seeing a lot of different things. Okay.
I don't see the El Camino.
Maybe he means a mini Monte Carlo is what Nick is saying. Because an El Camino is the pickup truck car.
Yeah,
it's a ute to our Australian friends.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I don't know. I have a thing personally against this subclass of cars where they're a subcompact car but they have a trunk. It just doesn't make sense to me. Just make it a hatchback. Like, that could have just been a Yaris instead. Like, put a hatchback on it and suddenly way more useful.
Dane, what are the cars? I think it's popular in Australia where they put the truck beds on a car.
Yeah. No, you're talking about utes.
Well, there's another one where it's like...
Oh, you're talking about the ones where they have like a tray on the back.
Yeah.
Where it's like very industrial looking.
I forget what they're called. No, I'm talking about the cars, like the actual cars.
It's a car, but it's the body on frame, so it has a frame with the
there's
or
a
the
dedicated
unibody, I guess.
Company that I forget what they're called. Levi kept talking about them.
Huh. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but maybe somebody in the comments can clarify.
Yeah.
Joey, Sydney, does Dreammaker still have a place in your details, or is it saved for special occasions?
So this is the one product that I don't use a lot. I think Dreammaker is so great of a product, but I don't use it just because I don't have a place for it. So I am just a little bit bougie, and I like to wipe down every single car at the end of the detail with Defender. So honestly, since Defender came out, that's kind of my last final detail spray. But Dreammaker is a solid product. I think that it is absolutely great, for car shows, but it has one job, right? So it just adds a pop of gloss, and I'm just the weirdo that like wants to protect everything. Maybe it's like the mother in me, I don't know. So I think this is more of a me issue. Dreammaker is a very good product, but I don't use it.
No, Dreammaker's like at a car show. That's really the sweet spot.
And I used to use it. I would wipe down the cars, before delivery, because it would make them pop. But Defender does the same thing, and I like leaving by-hand protection. And that's a completely like selfish thing. I wipe down every car with Defender because I know all my customers come back to me, and I want it to be easier for me to wash next time.
Because you're going to have to talk to them again.
Right. And so that's like, I do that selfishly. I wipe down everything with Defender, but I mean, Dreammaker is a really good product. I don't use it really much anymore.
It's a good way to approach
fantastic
that.
product. Like, not knocking it all, knocking myself.
Yeah. And Neil, sorry, I wasn't trying to make fun of you there. I just literally was looking. I was like trying to see how you would see a pickup truck car there, a ute. And I'm just looking at it like maybe if the whole roof was black after the B pillar, something like that. Funny enough, he actually says that there's somebody here locally who if you look online, some of the test development mules for like M products, like BMW M3s, they made the pickup trucks. Somebody locally did that with a Toyota Echo. I've seen it.
Funny.
Somebody took a Toyota Echo, carved the entire like roof out, took a Sawzall, just like shaved that whole thing off and turned it into like a full tray in the back.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, why? It must have been in like an accident, and they were just like, this is the way I fixed it. But it clearly looks like something that spent time on a farm. So
that's so funny.
Just letting you know, Neil, I know of a local one that somebody actually did try and do that with.
Yeah.
Electric glow detailing. What are they saying, Sid?
So, Sid, what is the shelf life of a rinseless wash mixed up in a spray bottle? Will it last for years or just a few months? Most likely just a few months. So, again, with all soaps, rinseless washes, you really don't want them diluted more than a couple months. Definitely not years. If you're doing it with distilled water, you might get a few more months out of it in a spray bottle. But if you're using tap water, we're talking like a month. And again, the purpose of using these products is we want them to perform at tip-top shape. So, and when we're talking about rinseless wash in a spray bottle, it's such a minute amount that it's not worth risking that even if you've had it in that bottle for 2 months, I would just dump it out and start over, honestly. I really would, because we're talking pennies, and I want it to work the best. I want to smell it. That's the other thing, is you're going to lose your smell. Not you, but the product. And so I'm just one that, just make up a new bottle every 2 months.
All right. And now that I'm looking, we're at 48 past the hour, so I want to make sure. I've got 3 pages here. We're going to cruise through these. So we're going to get this stuff out there. But I'll make sure we try and get everybody represented as best we can. Yeah. Joey, hype to me equals flavor of the week. New shiny object until the next one comes along. Like when Andy tossed Woody aside for Buzz.
Okay.
We all know how that ended. Yeah. Many sequels later.
Yeah.
Sheepstar. Yeah, don't be a sheep. Wait. I like that. Got him. Then we've got Raymond. Just bought paint gloss to try it out. It's great. Use it to clean smudges on my door jams.
Yes, paint gloss is like
clean my TV screen with it.
Yes, it's like a Swiss Army knife. So many different uses. Love it.
Definitely useful. Jay's Car Channel. Dane, I watched the Adam Patali video you guys did a while back. It's insane to me that the video only hit 1,200 views. That was such a great chat you guys shared with us. The YouTube algorithm is trash. Buddy, don't I know it. That's on the podcast channel. So we were doing some great interviews with people on the podcast channel. You can definitely check those out. We've kind of since recalibrated our strategy, and now the Q&As, as you've noticed, are on the main channel again, kind of steering things back that way, because having multiple channels just, it felt like people were missing stuff and there was no good reason why. So trying to bring that to the main channel here. But, if we get some more stuff like that, I'd be happy to bring that to you guys again. I just know that here on this main channel, it's something that we got to keep up the viewer retention as well, because YouTube algorithm, man, it's something else.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next up, I've got Mikey saying, "Sup, chat. Would you recommend adding Absolute in a steamer?"
Absolutely. Okay. So I do every single time. So what I do is I take a gallon of distilled water, I add in a cupful of Absolute, then I have a ready to go gallon ready anytime my steamer needs refilled, and I only run Absolute in my steamer. I don't run it with just regular water. Love it.
Nice. Then I've got Ben here. Hello. I'm thinking about getting into detailing. Wondering if the PNS training workshop is worth it. I live only about 2 hours from Hayward, California, but it's like $600 for a one-day workshop. Let me tell you, that's cheaper than a lot of other classes I've seen that they can get pricey.
Right. So, Ben, I will tell you this, and I realize the world is watching, but here's the deal. So it is absolutely fantastic. I think Josh Pierce is coming within the next month or two, and I highly recommend taking training from him. It is $500 for a day, but you get $500 in credit to buy chemical.
So really,
you get all your money
in
back.
a roundabout way.
Yeah. So since you're starting your training workshop,
free.
I mean, you're going to get it all back in credit to use at the store or your nearest distributor. So I highly recommend you doing that. It's a great entry level into trainings. It is a super good value. No matter who trains that we bring in, it's fantastic. PNS is fantastic. And it's not, the training, I think what I love about it is it's not all about trying to sell you PNS products. We're teaching you methods, SOPs, how to use a polisher. I mean, it's very much focused on the art of detailing, not PNS products. We're obviously using those, but that is not the conversation.
Excellent.
So I highly, highly recommend you do that. Totally. Absolutely.
Great advice.
Great value, and you get it back in credit.
Next up, I got Sheepstar. Ben, I would look at some guides online, look at multiple channels, and find common denominators between them and make a basic plan/list of steps. I think Sheepstar is absolutely right to do that in addition to the other thing there, because for all the benefits of what Sheepstar is saying here, because I totally agree with it, there is something to be said about having an in-person environment where you're around other people who can actually see you running your technique and be able to give you feedback in real time.
Yes.
That is worth every penny.
Yeah, and shameless plug, Ben, if you did not watch the video that came out yesterday on the TRC main channel,
that's this channel.
Yeah, watch it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, watch it.
The one with Sid sitting on the Mini Cooper.
Yep.
That's
How to
the
start.
one you want.
Yep. How to start a detailing business. Go watch that.
Yes.
That is for you.
It's actually just for you.
Yes, just for you.
Yeah. Jay's Car Channel. Do you have any recommendations for a pressure washer that would work well for both car rinsing / foaming and also cleaning things like concrete in the market, and wondered what to look into?
Gosh, this is a...
I know. No, it's like fine.
I don't know. The thing is you can buy a really expensive pressure washer, but Ryobi has... I've got that rolling one. It looks like a little suitcase. I've had that now for 10 years.
Yeah.
No
Still
issues. It was my first pressure washer that I used on cars. I use it to clean the siding of the house, the back patio. It's still going strong. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Ryobi and the Karcher Cube, I'm a huge fan of as well. They're just solid. My Karcher Cube never let me down. And then I got an Active. I do still like my Active, but I am on my second one after the first one caught fire.
It sounds so horrible.
It didn't catch fire. It just smoked a little.
No, it was on fire, Gabe.
What? Wait, what?
Our Active, remember, it caught on fire. The whole inside of it was on fire.
I thought it was just smoking like mine.
No, I sent you the video after I put the fire out, and it was still smoking from its inside.
Oh boy!
But I do like my Active.
Not
but
making the most convincing argument.
Yeah,
right now.
But to be fair, to be fair to Active, there was an issue with the first batch of the Active 2.0s.
Yeah.
They have since fixed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but I still am going to stand by that it may not be the best one to clean concrete.
I would agree.
It does not like to run for long periods of time.
No.
Doing what I do in my detail shop, it's perfect. I love it. Would I clean my concrete driveway? No.
No, because it might die.
Fair point.
It could start.
Now, on the Karcher Cube end of that, I will say, I remember Anthony, he's gone through like 2 or 3 of those things. He loves it. He really did like it a lot, but he did run into issues. Like, it was like a lemon or something his first couple times he ran into issues, but they did replace it, so credit to them. I mean, they're a huge company. They do all that stuff.
Well, an Active replaced mine, no problem.
So that's good.
Both Gabe and I had ours replaced.
Nothing's perfect, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but concrete is a different animal. You're running a machine for a long time. I think there you got to make sure you have the right size hose. You got to make sure you have the right water pressure, because it's running them for a long time at not the right water pressure is what burns up the motors. Okay. So I think that's kind of the main thing. But I would start out with, I would highly recommend like a Karcher Cube or a Ryobi. They're both great.
Okay. Yeah. And apologies to Nick or Glenn in the back room. We are going to go a little over time today because there are good questions coming in. I want to make sure we get to them. But we've also got good viewership, so I'm definitely sticking with that. Nathan Godinez here. I'm a full-time detailer and just want to thank Dane and Sydney and everyone at TRC for putting on this live show. It makes my Thursdays better, and the information shared is insanely helpful.
Well, thank you. That's
thank you very
awesome.
much, Nathan.
And you guys make our Thursdays better, so thank you.
I mean, this thing is a two-way street.
Yeah,
it requires you guys to be a part of it for it all to work. So, as long as you guys keep showing up, we'll keep doing this, and we really enjoy it. So thank you. Next up, I've got Sheepstar saying, controversial opinion, no point paying for a class unless you know you are struggling. It's not hard to clean a car. Making sure you have your stuff as ready to go is half the battle.
I'm going to have to slightly disagree with you, Sheepstar, here, because I've been detailing for 13 years. I am a trainer, right? But I have gone to other classes and I never stop learning. So I feel like it's not just for people that are struggling. It can be for the, pros of the pros, and you will always learn something. And it also, it creates, it like reinvigorates you for what you do. So, I think I'm a huge fan of continuing education and always staying on the top. So I would never tell somebody not to go to a class. I think they're all, with classes, we're looking to take away nuggets. And so I don't think that it's just if somebody's struggling,
Okay.
Because I've attended classes on things that I know quite well, and I learned so much. Crystal Wash is not on the website.
That's what Joey's saying here.
Bummer.
All right. And I got Mikey. Does anybody find that coating PPF is more prone to high spots? Maybe my leveling and buffing towels are all sealed.
Ooh. Now, talk about another controversial subject.
Ooh, so let's go.
I caught it in there. Does anybody else see what I see? So first of all, PPF should actually be very easy. But when you're saying your leveling and buffing towels are all sealed, you should only be using brand new towels when you're doing coatings, and you should throw them away. So best practices, right? So the fact that they're sealed means that you've used them before and you shouldn't be using them again, especially for coatings. So best practice on coatings, use brand new towels and toss them. It's not worth the $3 or $4 to try to save them, because then they get put back at a job that you didn't intend for them to be. So you should not be getting high spots on PPF, and try new towels and throw them away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I got Ron Faldick here saying, does anyone make a car wash that provides a real sealant that will last at least a month and reseals at every wash?
You know, that's hard to say, because I don't know, like, how do we measure if the sealant's lasting, you know?
Because, I mean, he's probably talking about, like, those ceramic washes and stuff you see out there.
And I think they're all the same. And when something says ceramic, it's, I mean, like a ceramic wash is no different than P&S's Radiance, right? It has a sealant in it. But to call something ceramic, it has very minimal SiO2 component into it. So it's hard to say, will it seal and last a month? Because we don't have a way to gauge sealants. Just because something has a less water behavior doesn't mean that it's not providing protection anymore. So that one's really hard. I do think that there's a lot of good, SiO2 based car washes out there. And I think they're gonna give you a good, long lasting sealant, if you will, but I just don't know that there's a way to gauge that.
Okay.
For real, Then
I've got Captain here. I'm trying out EnviroClean as a degreaser. What other products would the rag company carry that's a true degreaser to use on greasy, dirty, small backhoe? So he has like an actual tractor he's trying to work on.
Yeah, I would go with the Koch products. Green Star's great one. Something that you can change the dilution depending on how dirty the job. Because that's the other thing, is we don't want you to use it, too strong on something that doesn't need to be that strong. But if you're doing a dirty backhoe, you're going to use it at a pretty good, lower dilution. So I think Green Star is great. There's a lot of great ones from Koch that are really awesome. And the other thing, you can always try like a Brake Buster, right? Brake Buster is a great degreaser in its own right.
Yeah, no, on the alkaline end of the spectrum, it's going to do a lot. It cleans a lot of different kinds of materials.
Yeah.
Then I got Juice Free popping in.
Hey.
Screaming, Soap V2. All right, buddy. I'm sorry, I'm skipping past Sheepstar talking to Ben because it's a whole conversation, but there are good questions, so I'm going to keep going here. Let's see. Hans saying, today I had a car with paint splattered on the whole car. Used a clay disc on a sander and bead maker to remove the paint. What? Worked like a charm. After that, I used Defender on the car's paint and windows.
Nice.
Wow.
That sounds awesome.
Okay. And then we got Dark Dragon saying, reflect on inside windows felt great on wipe off.
Yes, I love it on the interior.
I got to try that.
Yeah. Love it on the interior windows.
Definitely got to try that. And Gabe, thanks for cleaning up my rental for TRCMA week. Yes, Joey, very economical.
Joey, you're getting the Mini Cooper.
Joey gets the Mini Cooper. Alex gets the 4Runner.
Well, they don't need separate cars. They're going everywhere together.
No, so they can race.
Oh, right, because they need to be able to race.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, will Rags to Riches do anything for my older towels? They are hydrophobic, like a duck.
Oh, no. So, Raymond, you can try the soak method, which is in a 5-gallon bucket, mix up, warm to hot water with, a good half a cup to a cup of Rags to Riches. I put quite a bit in, and let them soak for 24 hours and then wash them. I would say that chances are, I don't know, maybe 70-30 that you're going to revitalize those towels. There is definitely
we've revived some towels that were truly just garbage.
Yeah, and we've all kind of been down that road where we've revived some pretty crazy towels, but it's not going to work on them all. I mean, there's just certain ones that, like if they're Eagles or something.
Too much time, too many cycles, too much product. Eventually, a towel just needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
It's okay to replace it.
Yeah.
I understand. I have a vested interest in telling you, hey, buy my towels. But realistically, at a certain point, you're not doing the best job you can be doing for your customer if you don't have the right
it's
tools.
A good science experiment, but get some new towels. And but like a duck is a little bit
I like the like a duck. That's great.
That's great.
And also says he uses Koch Polestar for his sneakers.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. Sheepstar. 92 had 100 horsepower.
Okay, well, that extra
something
too.
called slow car fast, which is balls to the wall all the time because 100 horsepower was all you had. Sheepstar, I know that feeling because I had an NA Miata.
Yeah, but horsepower is all relative to how much the car weighs and stuff, right?
Yes, it very much comes down to what a car weighs.
Yeah.
And the Paseo doesn't weigh anything.
Right, yeah.
Also, it's front wheel drive, so it's closer to the source of the powertrain. So, the wheels being driven are right next to the engine that's driving them.
Yeah.
So shorter, no drivetrain loss really. That's you get all 100 of your horsepower, at least really close to it.
Yep.
Anyway, OTS Mobile Detailing saying, love the recent Sydney video on how to start a Destiny visit. How did you figure out what packages to offer? I don't do ceramic coating at the moment, so it's hard.
Yeah, so that was a hard thing because I went through the trying to do different levels of interior, different things like that, and then I just realized that for me, I only knew how to do cars one way, and that was all the way. And so for my business, it didn't make sense to offer express detailing services because all that meant was I was making less money that day because I was still going to do it all the way. So you have to kind of figure out yourself and what works for you in that manner. So for me, I had to simplify it also. So that way when the customer called, there wasn't like that price haggling and all that. It was just, this is my interior, this is the exterior, this is the full complete spa situation. And that was all I did. And then everything else kind of became an add-on service. So if somebody wanted an engine bay cleaned, that was an add-on. If it was lots of dog hair or, biohazard, that was an add-on. But I didn't offer expresses. I didn't offer, I hear these people say like a level 1 interior, level 2, level 3. Oh, that means nothing to me. It just doesn't. I only know all the way. Perfect. Because I think when customers would come and they'd say, well, I just want an express detail. And when you say to them, like, well, what do you want me to leave? Do you want me to leave the stains on the carpet? Do you want me to leave the chocolate between the, center console? And they're always like, well, no. And if you leave stuff, that just opens you up for the customer to leave you negative feedback because they say, I got it back and my, the visors were still dirty. Well, something has to be left dirty. So I just kind of made that my policy was I only did it one way. So you just have to figure out what works in your business. And if you don't do ceramics, but you want to do polishing, you can do a one-step, kind of paint enhancement is what you would want to call it with a sealant. And that might be something like Uno Advanced that has the sealant built in, or you could use something like, Ultra Coat Polish, do a quick enhancement and throw on a coated defender. But try to figure out what services you want to provide and keep it small. Because the more you have, people are going to try to negotiate you doing the highest for the lowest price. So it just really simplifies it with your customers.
Okay. No, that's excellent. And catching up here, I've got a handful of questions left to get to because there were 2 pages, but I'm selecting them specifically. Okay. So Archie Nerd here, planning to do hybrid wash. That's chemical, then rinse, then rinseless.
Cool.
This spring in Canada. Can I use my detailing brushes like normal soap and water for nooks and crannies?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't see an issue with that.
I just did that on my car here today in the studio. Love it.
Yeah. Then Alpha Tango saying, thanks, TRC crew. Have an excellent weekend. Thank you, Alpha. And what would be the best chemicals to clean a PlayStation 2, says Juice Free. We can detail more than cars. It's true.
Yeah, I think consoles, probably like an Absolute, right? Yeah, I think like an Absolute's going to be great.
Won't hurt it.
Yeah, or Express Wipes or, pretty much anything that you would clean the plastic inside a car, just spray it on the towel first, not that PlayStation.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's probably like the biggest thing.
You don't want to super saturate when it comes to small electronics like that, because that's when problems happen.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to break out the rice, right?
Yeah. Right.
Barry DeHart here. Sydney, what is your favorite compound and favorite finishing polish?
Oh shoot. Can I plead the fifth on that for a couple more weeks?
Oh, I see.
So honestly, it's rehab though. Like I like the one step, and rehab can cut or finish, right?
True.
So, obviously I think my favorite is rehab. It was everything I dreamed of and Dave built it. So I'm going to have to go with rehab.
No, there we go.
And stay tuned.
Yeah. So stay tuned. That's a pretty big clue, guys. All right. Sydney, what's better for mobile detailing, rinseless wash or foam wash?
That could go both ways. I think that Rinseless wash is great. It's something that, like, if you're doing mobile, like in a office complex or something, you're going to fare much better with Rinseless. But there's also something to be said that for mobile detailers, people like the show of doing a foam wash. So as long as you're not like direct sun and like you're going to end up damaging something, people like the foam wash, and that could actually bring you more business. People will stop and say, you know, what are you doing? You know,
it grabs attention.
It grabs attention. So
not just for Instagram.
Yeah. So I think kind of either one. I think there you have to judge what your environment is. You know, if no one's watching you and you need to get it done safely and quickly, I'm going to like the Rinseless wash. But if you're somewhere where you can advertise yourself while you're working, put on a show. Yeah.
All right. And then Sheepstar had a good point. It popped up here. Just a little rebuttal. All I'm saying is you might as well get yourself to a point before investing in a class if you don't want to detail as a profession. It's not a great investment. If yes, then yeah, continue the education. I mean, yeah, it's personal preference for sure. But if you're looking to run it as a business, something going forward, it really does pay to have those skills. And especially when you see here about Ben saying, oh, dang, didn't know about the products credit. That's awesome. Yeah. So a lot of love for that as well. Then last question. I'm going to go ahead and look through here, make sure I get a good one.
Guys, I'm tired.
I bet you are.
Look at my pants. They're all dirty.
I bet you are.
All right. So this is a good spot to end it on, I think. Captain, hope you all have a great weekend. Save your pennies for TRCMA and all the new stuff coming out.
You guys,
I have to get my teal TRCMA emotional support towels ready and tears for the credit card bill.
You are all going to want to watch TRCMA.
Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, $8,000 worth of prizes happening. And I'm not genuinely, we've been adding up the totals. We're doing 8 giveaways, 2 giveaways each day. So that means if you're going to watch TRCMA, you got to watch it from the beginning to the end, because that's the only way you're going to know if you won.
Yeah.
Halftime show is going to be key.
Yep.
Joey and Alex are going to bring the heat. And this is a forewarning for them to bring the heat.
Yep.
But
of course,
it's going to be a really jam-packed show. We got all of our vendor partners. This is an opportunity for you to ask Dave and Bob questions. Chris from G-Technic, Andrew from Koch, you know, Detail Factory is going to be there. Solution Finish is going to be there. Dr. G from Optimum is going to be there day one. Matt Norman from Obsessed Garage is going to be here. So the other area is, stay tuned, keep looking at our website. The TRCMA link is going to be there, or go to trcma.com. It'll take you directly to the website. There you can see the schedule on a day-to-day basis. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you. It is going to be fun. We've been working our tails off. Glenn and Nick, shout out to those guys. They have been working endlessly on the weekends to get this halftime show, pre-show happenings for you guys. So you're going to want to tune in for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I missed anything, did I?
No, I think you nailed it. Thanks, Gabe. So, yeah, everybody who's watching here, we're at the tail end of this thing, but we want to say a big thank you from the bottom of our hearts to all of you. And, yeah, don't be strangers. Come around the next time we do a Q&A Thursday. It happens every Thursday that we can do it at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So you can check us out here. Leave a comment below after this turns into a video on YouTube if you want to see something in the future. And hit that like button on your way out the door. We really appreciate it. Helps us in the algorithm, all that good stuff.
Also, check out our other social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram. Tomorrow, Carson and I are going live on TikTok. You can hear us banter as we do a nice wash and talk.
Nice.
All right. And on that note, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We will catch you next week.
Thank you, guys. Bye.